Good evening, everybody. Welcome to America's Third Party, and this is Freedom Friday. Thank you for coming in, and thank you for watching our recorded broadcast. As you know, we have close to 800 videos in our library on YouTube. You guys can rebroadcast any of them that you want. In fact, you can set it to play, and it'll play. You can also multicast this on multiple networks. So if you really want to help us, just go to AmericasThirdParty.com and click the YouTube button at the bottom and add that to your feed. You could actually broadcast and rebroadcast our shows and talk about them. You can say negative things about them. I don't care. I'm trying to break through the incredibly corrupt two-party system and the media censorship that's been happening to us ever since we started. So by saying negative things about us or positive things, it's actually helping. So many of you have continually said negative things about us, and I admire your effort to try to stop us. But I'm much more persistent and dedicated than you'll ever imagine. There's nothing you can do to stop what we are building, a third party in this country. I'm picking up where Ross Perot left off, and we will make this real. If people say they're going to start a third party, they're full of it. Michael Bloomberg's talked about it. Bernie's saying that if he doesn't win the nomination, he's going to start one. We've been doing this for 8 years, and we are honing our platform. And it's so popular that Donald Trump decided to take a lot of our ideas and use them as his own, which is interesting. So I'm a person who wants to see things happen. It's interesting that Donald had to go to that extreme to challenge people like Jeb Bush, but clearly we have a cutting-edge message. And we are glad, in a way, that Jeb Bush is no longer in the race. And I congratulate Donald Trump in knocking Jeb out. Good job. However, taking ideas and claiming they're your own is not something I approve of. It's really quite disturbing, actually. All right, so you've been hanging out, guys, talking about things. We're going to check the news tonight, see what's going on in the regular news. I haven't touched on it. And we've got a video from Scissor Fight. I want to take a look at that too. I was and am disturbed by the fact that Donald took my safe zone idea. He took our 1,000 mile fence idea. And he got it wrong. He wanted to build a wall. Okay, Ben Carson is getting closer to leaving the race. Ben Carson's path to the exit. During a campaign stop at Iowa University in Ames, he sees no path forward, says he'll skip next Republican debate. So why doesn't he just drop out of the race? Does he like the popularity? I mean, is he basking in the sunshine? I mean, what's going on with this? I don't like people that quit. I'm not a quitter myself. I've never dropped out of anything I pursued. I even left my college years in good standing. And I must tell you, as a person who has done everything from building small businesses to average everyday things like managing a print shop and making sure that t-shirts were delivered to rock and roll stars. That's what I did right out of my early years in college, along with 2 other jobs. So I understand the meaning of a full 70, 80-hour week, but I don't like living that life anymore. And I don't want you folks to toil the rest of your life as wage slaves. So unlike the two parties, I don't foresee you working 5 days a week. I really see America kicking back and resting on our laurels. We are richer than they're letting us believe. Tonight we'll be discussing how the United States corporation is different than the United States of America, legally, and for a good reason. The United States of America, which is what you're going to be voting for when you write my name in for president, is actually our nation, but it is in bankruptcy. And has been in bankruptcy since March 9th of 1933. The United States itself, the corporation, has taken on a $19 trillion debt, which is handled, ironically, by the Federal Reserve. So when you make your tax payments that go to the Treasury, it goes immediately to the Federal Reserve and it's sent on to the World Bank, which manages our debt. This corporation, which has hijacked our nation, needs to go. So that's why I strongly support ending the Fed and bringing our troops home. It's central to our theme at America's Third Party, and it's also the reason why I believe that we're going to be able to get out of our debt we're in. we're going to be able to pay back whatever debt obligations the United States corporation has. And we're going to be freeing up another 12 to 15 trillion dollars in available currency from the gold that we will acquire when we end the Fed. The Fed is sitting on $32 trillion worth of gold. That's shocking, isn't it? And that gold is ours. And it's sitting at the World Bank. And it is available for us to get once we end the Fed. They don't want you to know this, but that's what we really have to do. And that makes our country immensely wealthy. We're going to continue to be the world currency as a result of this. And we're going to be out of debt. Isn't that nice? But unfortunately, Donald Trump doesn't understand this. He sides with the Fed. He wants the Fed. The Fed bailed him out of a lot of tight spots. So yeah. Anybody who's questioning the reality will stay with our show, and we'll be playing videos into the evening from Karen Hudis, a former attorney of the World Bank, who is fighting desperately to get this money back and making sure that the government is accountable for this $32 trillion of gold that we acquired during World War II from the Japanese and the Germans. So yeah, no need to freak out. We can erase much of the debt with this bailout once we acquire the gold. All right. Anybody who spends their time promoting other candidates here will be purged. And by the way, yeah, a former attorney for the World Bank who worked for 20 years, yeah, I consider that a reliable source. Thank you. You know, I never debated Milton Friedman. I argued with him for 15 minutes, and he refuted everything I said with one simple answer: that the free market will solve everything. Little did he know that he was ushering in not a free market, but a subsidized market with the printing of money and the expansion of currency. Milton Friedman, in my opinion, was an imbecile, and he received a Nobel Prize being an imbecile. His big contribution was to give big people big money, expanding currency, and extending credit, which now we are facing a massive problem with that. Okay. Lot Lizard, I'm not sure if I'm going to ban you because you don't show much respect for our show. You seem to come in here wanting to talk about this corporate elitist, this one percenter named Trump. Many of you are still thinking Hillary, also a one percenter, she's going to help save the day for you. You're still kind of fighting that urge, aren't you? Knowing full well that she went on a search on the internet to hide emails. She actually searched for how to hide emails. Isn't that amazing? That came up in the testimony, but it wasn't made a big issue in the mainstream media. Buried knife has been found at OJ's estate. Now, this is something that you think would have been, revealed back in the day, but apparently there's been some excavation over there, and many people still believe that it's OJ's son that did the murder, and nobody in the mainstream media has ever discussed this, but it's a blogosphere conspiracy theory. A construction worker found a knife buried on the perimeter of the former O.J. Simpson estate, and it's currently being tested by the LAPD in a top-secret investigation. The story is incredible. We're told a construction worker found the knife years ago. We've heard several different stories ranging from several years to 1998 when the house was demolished. The weapon is a folding buck knife. The law enforcement sources say the construction worker took the knife to the street where he saw an LAPD cop. He told the officer where he found the knife, and the cop took it. Turns out the cop, who worked at the traffic division, was off duty at the time, working security for a movie shoot at a house down the street in Rockingham. And the officer took the knife home and kept it for years. Wow. Chain of custody was broken. So, I mean, it's almost laughable. If this knife has any telltale DNA evidence on it, we'll certainly want to, help explain that to the Simpson family and Ron Goldman. I sure can. I can read. It's amazing. He did it and caused the bitches... What? He did it because the bitches stole orange juice from his fridge? Caleb, how can you even reduce this conversation to talking like that? Where have you learned your manners here? In the public school system? Did your teachers tell you that was funny? All right. right, let's not talk about the bitches, okay? That's a little bit rude, Caleb. I'm not sure. Hey, by the way, I want to end Common Core. And I'd like to end Uncommon Core, too. Angus, what is your question? Because you're not really making any sense. Okay, let me jump into the chair here. Sarah is required to do a Common Core. It's her job, so it's not really an issue I'm concerned about. She'll do whatever we have as a job. Common Core keeps kids down. Yeah, it coddles them too. It provides them free answers. But most of all, it over-tests, and it makes it for almost impossible for people to actually learn. Imagine spending your time being tested on things and never ever knowing the answers to your test. Welcome to Common Core. The chat is doing it, yes. We're still following chat in real time. I'll be fielding questions. This is exactly like the chat room at the White House that I'll have when I'm president. We'll be able to discuss things in a real-time manner, so feel free to ask me any questions right now, and I'll immediately answer it as fast as I can. Unlike Obama, who takes 45 days for his speechwriters to return with a teleprompter message. Well, let's be clear. We've got a guy named Ben on the phone. Hey, Ben, what's the question?
Okay, earlier you said you thought Milton Friedman was an imbecile because he led to interventionist monetary policy. I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah.
But are you sure you weren't talking about Maynard Keynes? Because I thought Friedman was all about free market.
Yeah, he was, but unfortunately, Friedman's he was a descendant of the Keynesian philosophy, and as a monetarist, Friedman actually ended up costing this nation a lot of money, funding growth with more debt. You know, this has been a pattern of the Keynesian economic theorists to extend credit, to throw money into the economy, thinking that's the juice that makes the machine work. When in reality, what it does is it creates liquidity traps. And those liquidity traps end up costing our nation, because right now we've got people sitting on tons of money and they're not even investing in American business or enterprise. How can we make widgets when somebody's sitting on cash because they're worried about their economic future and they're a billionaire? So we've got a lot of liquidity traps that right now are coming back to haunt our nation. And this is exactly what I told Milton Friedman at the time. I said that the government should be a silent hand moving toward assisting in certain areas, not regulating. Like provide low-cost products that we can start producing and mass producing and getting out there for the American people to install. For instance, solar panels on rooftops. I've been suggesting ideas that will help get the economy to go in a direction. Right now, it's not doing anything. It's stagnant. So our ideas are rather unique because we really want the government to do something right, run like a business, but also downsize in the process. So, thanks, Ben. That was Ben. So we have a great idea to build up houses that are currently dilapidated, foreclosed, things that are condemned, and buy them up cheap and fix them up and make this nation prideful of home ownership. Legal prostitution is definitely on our agenda. We would love to see decriminalization of prostitution. Legalization of marijuana is another big part of my agenda. You told Eric Trump that some guy in a double wide who does not get along with everyday working people, does blackface, will be governor and run for president online, no pun intended. Okay. I'm not sure what you were trying to achieve by talking to Eric. Eric isn't he serving some downtime? Didn't he have quiet time? His dad told him to do some homework. Okay, let's talk about the importance of legalization. Work this out in your head for all of you who don't like legalization. Alcohol is addictive. Cannabis is non-addictive. Alcohol is a depressant. Cannabis is an antidepressant. Alcohol causes cancer. Cannabis cures cancer. Alcohol leads to 1 million deaths per year. There's 0 deaths from marijuana. Alcohol costs police, and this is an English chart, billions of dollars, police and medical. And cannabis saves police and medical billions. And you can definitely die of an overdose of alcohol. You can't OD on cannabis. And alcohol destroys brain cells, and cannabis, turns out it grows brain cells. Yeah. Well, marijuana isn't dope. Heroin is. You need to go back to your Urban Dictionary from 1960. Yeah, it does. A study in Madrid in 2011 showed that it actually prevents tumors from growing, and it helps create a good environment for living tissue. Yeah. But I don't believe anyone should be forced to do anything. You know, that's an urban myth. The cop did not OD on pot. Marijuana is a gateway drug to happiness. Cigarettes are a gateway drug to crack, speed, meth. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Lot Lizard, you're not really saying nice things. I'm going to actually ban you in a few minutes. Are you prepared to be banned? No, I do not smoke. I have inhaled, though, and it was good. I vape. It has no resin in the vaporizer, so minimizes any deleterious effects of smoking the good ganja. Yeah, this was America until you moved into it with your anti-pot awareness campaign. We are not a microcosm of America, folks. This is America's third party. We have an agenda. It's a centrist agenda. If you're too far to the left, I'll ban you. If you're a commie coming in here espousing Marxist philosophy, I will ban you from the room. If you're a right-wing extremist like Donald Trump, and you're a supporter of Donald Trump, I'll purge you, but I'll put up with you because you tend to like my ideas too. I'm just not extreme. I don't want to ID Muslims and create deportation forces or create laws preventing you from criticizing me. I couldn't believe that was one of his agendas. Creating laws against anybody who criticizes him. Amazing. All right, whatever. I'll leave you in the room. It's fine. Okay, I have not added that link. I better do that. I got to do a little business while I'm sitting here talking to you guys. Yeah, I don't know if it's OJ's knife. There hasn't been a complete DNA swab done on it. Was it indeed his collapsible knife? I don't know. It makes it kind of difficult to understand how he was able to kill Nicole Simpson and Ronald Goldman, have no blood evidence on his body, and bury the knife, and somehow get rid of the plastic that was on his body. All within 10 minutes. It's going great, Jet. It's a write-in campaign for those of you who are too lazy to get me on the ballot in your state. But you write my name in, and we can definitely force a recount and get accountability from our government. There was blood evidence, but it hasn't been confirmed the blood of Nicole Simpson and Ronald Goldman. Is it Cato's knife? I still think there's something going on with his son. Yeah, I think he's covering for his son. Well, let's be clear. Many of you voted for Barack Obama. Many of you didn't. We have a centrist group of people in here. I'm not blaming you for voting for him. But I can tell you that when a president or presidential candidate doesn't deliver on their promises, it's concerning. So many of you are kind of like reeling from promises that never were fulfilled by Barack Obama. But now you got promises from a presidential candidate that sounds like Hitler. Trump promises harsh media criticism of him will be illegal if he's president. That'll never happen under my leadership. Notice how I've not banned Lot Lizard and he disagreed with me about marijuana. I'm not going to ban people for criticizing me either. That's the link if you want to see it. It's time, folks. It's time to wake up. There's no way we could possibly have somebody who doesn't even understand the Constitution as our president. This is serious. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go to my library and add this link and make it part of my Trump library. I'm adding Trump to the ticket. Donald Trump. Actually, I'll just put Trump and Donald Trump. Yeah, it's significant. We have to actually. I mean, I can't even believe this. I'm going to Twitter it too. Yeah, this will be part of the 10 reasons not to vote for Donald Trump. Eric laughed? Really? I seriously doubt if you talk to Eric Trump. Yeah, unscary scarecrow. No, I'm not the Trump of rump. Hello. In New Hampshire, a guy with a boot on his head got more votes than David. Not true. Not true. You're making that up, and that's a lie. I'm going to purge it. In New Hampshire, they didn't even count the write-in ballots in the primary. Okay, don't believe it. I have a picture with him, not Photoshop. Every photo in the world is now Photoshopped, unscary scarecrow. You can't prove anything anymore. Yeah. And here you thought you were hobnobbing with the big elites. What do you want to, like, kiss their feet as they walk down the street? What are you, one of those suck-ups? Can you imagine walking around going, I tweeted Eric Trump. I mean, what a dipwad. I'm not jealous. I'm actually hateful of you in particular. Google the New Hampshire results yourself. I don't have to. They don't count any write-in candidates until they actually get 25,000. Black ice matters. Okay. Hang on. Oh, so you're saying it's politically incorrect to hate somebody now? What are you, a Democrat? You mean you're not allowed to hate anybody anymore? Wow. Black ice matters. Look at this danger. You know, I fell on black ice once. It is serious. I dislocated my shoulder for the second time. After this election, I get to watch the economy collapse. Yep. Yeah, one of the things that I enjoy the most is sitting back and watching people who borrowed money to survive the past few years go deep into debt and have bill collectors call on the phone. So I'm sure Trump will be getting a lot of bill collectors calling him on the phone when he becomes president. Or Hillary will be getting a lot of questions from her moneyed backers saying, you got to do something for us if she's president. Yeah, so I get to sit back and watch the economy collapse. They don't have any real ideas to fix the economy. I do. So I'm really just sitting in the clutch position waiting for the American people to come to me. Because I've never received 1 second of media attention in the mainstream media, and because I've been censored on all different levels, it's kind of a nice position to be in right now. I'm not taken seriously by the powerful elite, which makes me feel good because I have more time to prepare for the future in 2020. But more importantly, I can enjoy my life before I really put my life at risk. So in a way, it's a win for me not to win, because when I win, I will eventually have a target on my head that's very real. And I realize that my life will be potentially cut short by an assassin. So for me, it's a win-win if we lose. It's a lose if I win, but it gives me an opportunity to save the nation, which I really want. So I'd be more than willing to risk my life to save the nation. Yeah. Just so you know, I'm not in this for the money, never was. Edgar Casey made a lot of predictions. Many of them didn't come true. Well, I figured life out in many ways. Yeah, I established total financial independence at the age of 40. And when I turned 50, I decided to retire because I felt that I had enough to survive on the rest of my life. So I don't have the worries that you guys have, only because I made preparations to prevent that from happening. Now, I can urge you to live below your means like I did for 25 years and save money. But it's kind of hard to do that when you're living ahead of your means by so far and borrowing from tomorrow to pay for today, like Trump. Trump is a guy who's heavily in debt, claims he's got $10 billion in his assets, hardly able to verify even $4 billion that I can see. Even if you go deep into his records, you'd be hard-pressed to see $10 billion. And I tend to agree with Gawker on that one. Gawker assesses his value at about 4. Hey, you know, being 55 years old gives me an advantage too, because I don't have to worry about finding a woman in my life. I've got a beautiful woman in my life who's 18 years younger than me. Yeah, you'll definitely be no longer a wage slave. I'm pushing for a 4-day work week, folks. No other candidate's doing that. My father fought communism directly. My family was instrumental in stopping communists in the 1950s. And I'm going to tell you all about it in my book. Yeah. Okay, Meow TV checked me on the dark net. I've been told that I've got my name out there on the dark net. So I don't know where you're checking, but there's a room called the Red Room. Somebody put my name in the Red Room. So there is a definite death threat against me there on the dark net. You may want to check it out again, Meow TV. I've never been to the dark net, but somebody told me I was in the Red Room. Yeah, they really want to get rid of me. Hey, Beekman. Well, I'm not going to enforce how much people work. I'm going to suggest a 4-day work week. Hello? Even government employees, this is a great way to save money, too. So if you don't realize the importance of a 4-day work week, you will later. We're also going to give teachers a day off to spend time as well in their own life. Students will get a day off to do homeschooling and also internet work, or just have fun. Yeah, so this is the future that I'm offering, a 4-day work week, which I think is a great concept. I hope Donald Trump doesn't grab this idea. He's taken so many of mine. I'm hesitant to provide the new ones for him. It's difficult when I bring up new ideas that, you know, I'm running a risk of them being stolen day by day. Day by day. So a house that you can live in, you can own this house in 10 years. It'll be $50,000 if you have the full cash up front. We will not allow investors to buy these houses. Only people who are single homeowners will be able to qualify. You'll be able to get this house for $50,000 over a 10-year period at $500 a month. We'll get a little interest on that money, but you'll own that house 10 years at $500 a month. Are you liking this idea? And then you can pass this house to your family, your grandkids. Yeah. Well, they told me I was in the Red Room. I never checked it out. I'm not gullible. I'm just, telling you what they told me. I heard Trump got booed by the crowd on Hannity. People are not liking Trump. He's very divisive, and he's driving a lot of people to vote for Hillary right now. Unscary Carecrow, I think we're done here. We're going to remove you from the show. You're no longer welcome here because you are Trump's little gopher, little go-boy. That's a nice house. You'd be lucky to live in a house like that. What's wrong with you? You don't appreciate the simple pleasures of a nice house? This will be a house in our homestead renewal plan that we're going to fix up houses. This could be a house anywhere. It's just a hypothetical house. Don't get too involved with this house, okay? Your house may look different. I know. Somebody told me my name was in the Red Room. I know. I was concerned. This happened 2 weeks ago. They said, hey, man, your name's in the Red Room. I don't even know what the Red Room is. No, this is going to be make sure that the house is not sitting on an abandoned landfill or a nuclear waste depository like so many other houses are. When we do a site inspect, we're going to check the environmental impact report for that area. That's what any intelligent person would do. Unfortunately, we've got absolute morons running our country who don't have a clue as to how to build jobs or increase our nation's economy or traction. in the global world economy. Welcome to my world, where I come up with solutions and you guys crap on them every night. You know, he didn't go to CPAC because he was afraid of getting booed. A lot of Republicans are not liking Trump, but you know, he's right now poised to win the nomination, and many experts are saying that he definitely looks like the other person besides Hillary. Anyone who still thinks Bernie's got a chance must be smoking some pretty good ganja. You know, Bernie didn't start working until he was 40 years old. I would like to know what he was doing up until the age of 40. I was working my butt off up until the age of 40. That's when you're supposed to work, you know, when you're young and vibrant. David, are you running for Dave or for us, the people? My priorities, sure. My priorities have always been the people. I've never solicited extreme finances or support here. I don't ask for donations, even though there's a donation button. No, you're supposed to, you know, work when you're strong, and then retire and then enjoy life. Well, I'm not old and gnarled. I'm actually pretty youthful. Well, anyway, Bernie has got a lawsuit against the Democrats because he wants more money. He's upset he didn't get enough money. Bernie's suing the Democrats because they didn't give him a list of names that they should have. So he wants money instead. Gives you an idea where Bernie's coming from. I just was wondering what he did up until the age of 40. What if I'm uneducated and having a hard time getting a job? Well, Eric, can you paint walls with a paintbrush? You'll be able to work in our homestead renewal plan in your city for $10 an hour. And every day that you work, you'll also get a point toward a down payment. So you will be able to avoid a down payment on one of these houses by working in the program. We will take donation labor from older people that want to spend their day and work for a couple points. In terms of giving that point total to somebody else, willing it to one of their family members, or just being nice and saying, here are my points, I'm working. You know, we've got journeyman plumbers and carpenters and electricians that would love to give their time and donate because they're retired. We have a large growing number of retirees out there that would probably do that for free because they've got lots of things to do with their time. I know people in the area that are constantly working. And they tell me that they're retiring and they're still working. So some people really like to work. But when I talk about a 4-day work week, I know I'm getting your attention. I want to make it so that you can pull 12-hour days if you want. Expanding work laws to accommodate the 12-hour shifts like they do with nurses. But more importantly, we should probably just expand to a 10-hour workday, 4 days a week, 40 hours a week. That's something that would make sense. Yes, we watched the joke of a debate last night. The fear of ISIS debate, right, where we all have to get frightened of ISIS and go out and fight a ground war. One thing I took back from that was that all the people in the Republican debate were supportive of a ground war. We've got Iraq and Afghanistan, and they're still fighting those same wars, and we've got no exit strategy, and they're still engaged in that policy of fearing terrorism. Oh, golly. Well, felons will be able to work in the program, too. You'll be able to work and get out of a tough situation with $10 an hour. It's not a high-paying job, but you don't have to have any skills to do this. Painting walls and helping with roofing. We'll probably have a liability issue to deal with the roofers. We don't want anyone falling off the roof, so only the strongest and most capable will do the roofing. If you're in a wheelchair, we'll give you a job painting walls on the lower floor. And you could walk around and paint the walls if you really want to, work. Make a little extra money beyond your disability check. We will not turn anyone away. Even people who are mentally challenged will have a job. You're laughing at somebody in a wheelchair? Do you realize how sick that chat statement is? Okay. No, they wouldn't be walking around. They'd be rolling around with a paintbrush, but you can still move your arm. So you're mentally retarded? Okay, Eric, we'll have a place for you. You will not be allowed to masturbate while you work in the homestead renewal plan. So, in case you were wondering, Some of you just want to masturbate all the time. I understand. You won't be able to get a job in the program. I'm sorry. Well, tools as in a paintbrush. I mean, hello? What's wrong with you people? You've never worked a day in your life? You're probably living on welfare right now. One thing I want to make sure we do as well, which Donald Trump doesn't have a plan to do, is pay Americans first. We're going to cut all financial support for non-U.S. citizens. That's my plan. And I hope he doesn't steal this idea. It's such a great original idea. Pay Americans first. Guaranteeing the American people will be paid. Nobody's going to go short on any kind of a paycheck from Uncle Sam. Yeah. So, again, another original idea here. This is all about freedom, too. We've worked hard. You know, Americans are probably the hardest working nation of people in the world, relative to maybe India, Calcutta, where the downtrodden, the unclean pick up feces from the back of homes of rich people for a penny. They work hard too. I'm not belittling the people of India, but they're not my problem, okay? The fact the American people work so hard and they don't have a long lifespan, I mean, what are we, 39th in the world in terms of lifespan? We need to take a day off just to relax, and I think you all agree. I'm not joking. Are you in India right now, Puck? Are you in Calcutta? You have to pick up the feces of the rich people. They don't even have plumbing in Calcutta. They still have the people, the unclean, go to the back of their houses and pick up the feces and take it to the Ganges River. You didn't know that? They still do. Have you seen the electric works in India? Electricity lines in India. Check this out. This will blow your mind. We are so far ahead of those other countries, it's ridiculous. So don't worry about us collapsing. If Donald or Hillary becomes president, we will turn into a third world nation. But this is a typical junction of electric wires in one of the cities in India. I mean, it's a joke. So we are way ahead of these countries in terms of the infrastructure we have. So be proud that you're an American. And also don't look at America as that we're not the greatest in the country, in the world. You know, running around claiming that Donald claims he's going to make America great again. When were we not great? I mean, compare our nation to all the other nations of the world and you're like mind-boggling how great we are. Even if you were living out of a dumpster outside of Jack in the Box, you'd be living better than 99% of the people living in Calcutta, begging for food. Well, I'm a left person and I'm a right person all at once. I'm a little bit of left, a little bit of right. I'm a centrist. All right, legalization, we talked about that. Write my name in, force a recount. It's the best thing we can do. No questions about sexual preference tonight. I am on record as a heterosexual and always will be. So don't ask that question over again, please. If you want to go back to this particular time in the chat show, it'll be 38 minutes in on the recorded broadcast. And you can always refer to that time and ask the big question, is David straight or is he gay? David is straight. Well, maybe you're a little gay, I'm not. Again, we're going to ask you to, just pipe down with a boot on the head thing. That's a joke. You know, many of you are fantasizing about getting involved in, you have bi-curiosity. I'm not here to judge you. I'm not a tiny bit anything. I'm 100% man, manly man. I have an old version of XSplit. Yeah, I can't run the new version because it's too top heavy for Windows 7. Again, I'm going to ask 309 to not talk about that ridiculous story. It's a joke. It's Friday night and you just got work. Take off your suit and chill out. You're too stiff. Beekman, I don't work. So this is my job, man. This is my job. Yeah. I have to dress up like this and look stiff. If I didn't, people would think I'm a flaccid noodle. It's my job to inform you that, you got a definite need for a third party. The Cannabis. Reclining leather seats, a 42-inch television screen, stencils of bright red marijuana leaves illuminate the back of the 420 Tours sport utility vehicle. The SUV, along with 30-foot bus, are used by Nevada's first cannabis tour company, which takes people looking for a medical marijuana card and legal pot from the street corner. Pretty cool. Do you have a picture of that, Earth Sky, or Cannabis? Caleb, I'm not a Marxist. I'm a hybrid capitalist. I think we've established this. God, man, I wouldn't have written a book so you'd understand the differences between us and communism if it wasn't so important to me. So I'm definitely concerned about your lack of knowledge here. Many of you don't know that Ivanka used to look like this. Are you a robot? No, I am not, Eric. If I was a robot, I would be making very unnatural sounds with my voice, and it would sound artificial. Clearly, I don't have the force defragmentation of hard drive. I'm just kidding. Yeah. So how do you like that? I liked before. I don't know. What about you? It was a joke, Eric. God. Too dumb to be robot. Really, ironic that you say that. I have 185 IQ. Tested. I read 6,000 words a minute. You're chatting too slow. I'm bored. Before is better, I thought. I don't know. Can't go back. There's a Thomas Wolfe, You Can't Go Home Again. Great book. You Can't Go Home Again. I remember reading that. You can't have your face back when you go to plastic surgery. You have delusions of grandeur? Well, you should probably seek psychiatric help. I'm just glad I don't have those things. Again, we can't talk about other people in the show, especially people that are heavy drinkers. Yeah, I don't drink alcohol, so it's no fun to watch me, I know, because I'm not delirious. Would it be better if I pretended like I was drunk? Would that make some of you feel more like this would be like another kind of a show? No, I do not have any delusions of grandeur at all. No. I have no fantasies of having special powers or anything. I tell you the truth every night. I deliver solid truth. I never in any way shield you from the truth. In fact, I'm more than willing to tell you that I am not a billionaire. You're drinking right now? What is your life turning into a what do you expect to achieve by drinking on a Friday night? Get crap-faced, stare at the porcelain goddess, vomiting your guts out, having the dry heaves the next day? I mean, what are you trying to achieve? No, I do have a high IQ. It was tested. There's nothing diluted about it. I state the truth. I have 185 tested IQ. The campaign's really about you stopping a two-party system that's going to put us all in FEMA camps. Imprison us, the entire population. If you don't start this third party with me and vote me in the upcoming election, you're that much closer to being in a FEMA camp. Aside from the fact that you're getting poisoned every day with chemicals and the weather modification chemicals that are blowing in the air, that sounds like a Bob Dylan song, Blowing in the Wind. I'm sorry, but I can't play that, or it will be targeted for monetization. I believe that FEMA camps do exist. There's 804 of them. If you'd like, I could give you a good description of where they exist in the U.S. Pale and porcelain-like. I don't consider myself pale. I'm white. I'm not low energy. I'm just revving up. I do a 4-hour show every night. I'm ramping up to another level, a whole another level. You have no idea. Well, let's be clear. They are there, yeah. You can believe that they're there. Would you like to see the map? I do have big hands. I don't think it's fitting for presidential candidates to talk about the size of their penis, though, like Donald and others, Marco Rubio. And how many roads must a man? Yeah, I just don't think it's appropriate to talk about penis size on a debate. But I'm glad that Donald Trump, took that time to show people what really matters to him. When you don't have it, you got to flaunt it. When you've got it, you don't talk about it. I understand. He was very crude. I couldn't believe it. I'd be embarrassed if I were his family member. Yeah. Of course, I'm not that embarrassed by anything. I know, he stooped to a new low with that, yeah. Sarah's here. Wow. I'm talking about a 4-day work week tonight and paying Americans first.
That background now, it's like they can read it.
Yeah.
I'll just stand here, I'll be the background.
Well, you're welcome to have a seat.
I'm just kidding.
I know.
Alright. I'm just going to sit down.
Okay, here's the list of the FEMA camps around the country. This is taken from a 2008 screen grab. And whenever somebody tries to put the interactive list on the screen, it gets taken down. But this was readily available on Google Maps back in the day. And we no longer have that ability. They pull it down every single time. So they're hiding something. They don't want us to see this map. So how was your day, Sarah?
Good.
Good. I'm glad you're glad it's Friday, I'll bet, huh?
I am glad it's Friday.
People said I should, take my tie off. Beekman said, man, people are just relaxing. And I said, I don't have a job, so this is my job, to wear a tie. I mean, don't take that away from me. I retired when I turned 50. So now my days are spent doing what I want to do, as opposed to what the man wants me to do. I'm not gay. I don't know why you keep saying you think I'm gay. Are you gay? Are some of you bi-curious?
It's a perfect fit.
We have very similar sized hands, yeah. No, I don't collect any money whatsoever from the government. I don't take any funding. I've never gotten any federal funding from the government. Beekman, what is this thing you keep sending me? Oh, that's a good one. Okay, we've got a couple of new ones that came in. Okay, we've got the shifty eyes of Chris Christie. And we've got the Donald. Oh, thank you. That brought humor to the show. That was fun. Yeah, it's okay to have fun on Friday night. It's really okay.
I'm sorry, Salty Dog.
Rowdy Proddy Piper, yes, I earned enough money by the age of 50 to live comfortably in the manner that I was accustomed to. Rice and beans are not that expensive. And living off Y2K food has been a real boom for me, I'll tell you. I made a wonderful beef noodle soup today, or vegetable beef soup. Mm-hmm. The can said 2,000 on it. And I'm in there eating it, and by the way, I made you steak fajitas if you want to have dinner, if you're hungry.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, there's steak fajitas in there. You just grab them out of the container. They're in a hot pan.
Okay.
And then when I'm done with that, I'm going to add the soup from Y2K to make it rounded, more fully flavorsome.
Okay.
Dude, I just stop asking me silly questions. Thank you.
Testing. Hello, Shrek. Testing. Hello,
Shrek.
guests. We love you.
Hello there. Shrek is here. You've been talk about a guy working all day, every day. You must put 70 hours a week in, Shrek.
No, they're awesome.
And then he went to Mexico with his wife recently.
Fantastic.
Yeah, they took a nice vacation, a good vacation. Yeah.
That's funny.
This is pretty funny. Our current president, Barack Obama, has been juxtaposed against other great leaders around the world. And King Abdullah and Vladimir Putin are in the top picture. Netanyahu, when he was in his early days of being a terrorist in the military. And then Obama.
On his bicycle.
On a bicycle, looking gayer than ever. Fascinating. I told him that days ago. He said he doesn't beaker. What?
No, David. They're saying that they think you and Trump have the same hair color.
No.
Another thing that Trump stole from David. His
Trump
hair color.
stole my hair color.
Seriously.
You know, I am such an amazing person that I take criticism every day in this chat room, and you see how I roll with it. It doesn't even affect me.
Just roll with it, bud.
Just roll with it. I'm gonna go get some coffee. I'll be right back.
All right, sounds good. All right, now it's all good, Beekman. Oh, I'm sorry, 315. I know, is that a girl's bike? Maybe it is that Obama's riding. Oh, yes. Okay, what's this? Oh, that's cute. Yes. That's pretty good. Alright, I don't know what all this is. I feel like I'm in a weird mode. I'm sassy tonight. I'm a little uppity. My hair gives David a redder tint when I come in the room. Oh, he was teaching his daughters how to ride a bike? Okay. Alright. Sad. So wonderful. It's fantastic. You picture David grilling shoe leather and say, "Here's some steak for you, Y2K steak. It's all good." Tag him. Like, label him? No. It's always a good thing. Alright, I'll take your word for it. Bats, bugs. Bats, bugs, beetles, bees, butterflies, and other bee words that fly. Something like that. Alright. Marianne. Oh, cute kitty. Oh, poor kitty. That's hilarious. Bum. Bebop. Do I really want to look at his thing? No, I don't. You can't wait? I can't wait till Sponheim becomes our new president. That'll be fun. Alright, Ben Carson has officially ended his campaign. He revealed his next group, chairing a group focused on getting out the Christian vote in November. Well, I think we need to care for others. I wouldn't necessarily call that Marxism. The O.J. Simpson case, the mystery surrounding the never-found murder weapon. Vote for Sponheim. Sponheim. Okay, I have to get rid of this cat thing. It's driving me wild. Yeah, I know. It's kind of strange, abnormal. Little bit strange. So, they said... Okay, so today now Trump says he's not going to order the U.S. military to violate international laws to fight terrorism. Before he advocated the killing of terrorist families. He reversed condemnation after condemnation from former cabinet members. That's good to hear. Maybe he's finally using some sense. Yeah, you're the only one, 315. Only one. Maybe not, Bob. Well, we know how, but it's not knowing how, it's the actual doing that's a little difficult. SpaceX rocket missed its landing at sea after a successful satellite launch. There's even more findings that point to Zika as the culprit behind babies' brain damage. The former president of Brazil is named in some kind of corruption probe. Probably to try to get the Olympics down there. What? Oh, David always wears pants on here. Black static. Yes, I guess their Americans are desperate for change. That's just why they should vote third party. Well, he's hoping to get all of your support to get him on the ballot, not Bob. How is that possible, 315? Andy Playrad, David, I think, would tend to agree with you. Yes, he needs your help to get him on the ballot. Exactly. You know how to do it? Go out and start collecting collecting signatures. That would be fantastic. I know. We were waiting for you. We need your help. Is that a picture of a white screen? Okay. How does it go away after 24 hours? Okay, thanks, not Bob. Yeah, I agree with you, Adele. I wonder if I could find a school over there. Well, David does believe in a 4-day work week, or even a 3-day work week. That would be good. Yep, you can put David's posters in the back window of your car. Sometimes you can get for an overbite to go away, you can get some kind of system where you can put it in your mouth like a retainer, I suppose, to help your overbite go away. It takes a lot of things you have to wear. Yes, in California, an independent would need, actually it's more like 1 million signatures. Yes, and in Minnesota it's only 2,000. It's pretty amazing. Oh, thank you, 410. Yeah. Okay. 2,000 in Minnesota. Very good. 160,000 in California? Huh. Thought it was something different. You know how. I know. You know how. Exactly. So now it's just a matter of actually doing it. Yeah. It makes sense. Hello, all those people. I do not smoke, that's correct. I do care. So there's a little Syrian town that says they've enjoyed a measure of peace, even though they've lived near the Syrian-Turkey. They live near the border. Most of the members of the village of Syria's Turkmen ethnic minority to form their own militia. And they rely heavily on the Syrian army.
Well, what really struck me about Donald yesterday in the debates is he softened on the refugee issue. You know, he was kind of backing down on his commitment to not have refugees come into our country.
Hi, Tandaleo.
Hi, Tandaleo. Cool.
What's nice is a semi-active volcano is like, because it is semi-active, you don't have to worry about like a big explosion from a volcano because it's constantly leaking.
Yeah, it's relieving
lava. So it's always relieving. It's like relieving the pressure. Whereas if you have like something like Mount St. Helens, it's like the pressure's building up before it explodes. Whereas the semi-active ones are just always perpetually releasing magma. So it's less pressure.
Now, Adele said that building a wall is a mistake. It's going to, alienate our neighbor, Mexico. My idea of a 1,000-mile wall was never designed to alienate Mexico. It really wasn't. The goal was simply to construct some barrier to the expanding population down in Mexico and South America. They've got a 31% growth rate, whereas we have a 5% growth rate attributed mostly to illegal aliens. So it's a serious... I personally want to get along with the Mexican government, and I would never have asked the Mexican government to pay for the wall. That's absurd. When Trump grabbed my idea, and Sarah, of course, added the lethal electric to it in 2010, we definitely think our idea is more able to build and construct within 1 year, whereas a wall is impossible. You'd never be able to build a wall in 1 year. We believe we could actually get this thing up and running and make sure that it is part of our strategy for preventing other large population increases coming into our country.
What would you do with the Federal Department of Education?
The Department of Education, I would like to see convert to content production, building solutions for kids to learn. We're talking about kits that the Department of Education could send around to the states for free that they would give to the students to learn how to do robotics, solar energy, wind power, programming solutions, online learning solutions. All of these things will be part of the Department of Education. And we do not want to have a large staff of people working on the Department of Education. We want to downsize by 50%. I do not support Common Core, so we will be looking at a brand new way of educating people I call it an incentive plan, but it started our discussion about getting kids to do things and want to do things started about 7 years ago when we came up with our too good to be, or yeah. I mean, let's turn guest chat off. Thank you. It pays to be good was the concept. And it pays to be good was an incentive program where kids would get scholarship money for doing well on their tests. If they got above a 95% on a test, they would get a certain cash award, and it would add up to as much as $15,000 when they graduate from high school or pass their GED. Either way, but when they turn 17, they'd be able to cash in 15 grand toward going to college. And that would be a much different program where we don't spend most of our time testing. The teachers do their own testing. And then the teachers can award the points. You're welcome. I had to disable it. It was pretty bad. Now, what kind of changes would you see in education as important in your future ideal education system?
I'd like to see a system where students could learn at their own pace, whether that be online or with a teacher. I'd like to see less testing.
Less testing. That's my big concern. It strikes me that
right now it's the principals that determines whether the teachers are doing a good job or not. Teachers are. It all depends on what state you live in, monkey times, but. For instance, in this state, teachers are assessed annually. I believe the Department of Education should encourage open education resources, free education resources that states can use.
Online learning opportunities for kids. I'd also like to see companies like Electronic Arts start producing education games that are as exhilarating as some of the combat kill games that they produce. I think that would be interesting. Getting some donation from some of the violent game producers to come up with either the simple basic formula for a game that would be fun for kids, or lead us in the right direction, or help the American people get educated by giving them fun things to watch.
I actually really like Khan Academy.
You do?
I think it's really good.
Is it fun?
I think it teaches math. I don't know if it's like fun, like, oh, let's play a game, like fun. No, but it's more like, let's see how good I can get. And then the kids get like bonus points and badges and, hey, I earned so many points for watching a video and listen and doing and knowing something.
That sounds good. Yeah. I suggested a 4-day work week, and that would include a 4-day school week. So one day would be available for you to go homeschool your kids, or your kids would go online to do another day of learning, or they'd just take the day off and enjoy the family.
Center, Andy, center.
I believe the secrets to getting our country back are based on the family unit. When the nuclear family came along, it kind of forced families apart and broke up families, and frankly, most of our survival over the past couple hundred years is attributed to families helping families. And we need to get back to that core value, not the common core curriculum, but the core value of families. I think that's important. And I'm not appeasing the Christian right here. I'm just trying to talk about a socially conservative issue that really is important. Families need to actually nurture their children into becoming good adults, and the best way is to spend time with your kids. More community, but more family, really. Community is kind of an outstretched word that, we're so collectively separate now in our separate worlds, a lot of us are, that the word community has a very little meaning. So forcing community on people sounds like communism, and I'm not a communist. Families are forever, that's right. Anonymous just hacked Donald Trump's voicemail and leaked the embarrassing messages. Whoa. Okay, we'll have to play that in a little bit. Thanks for that link. Yeah, I feel like my sister and I got back together because of the internet. Actually, my sister and I were not talking for about 8 years, and then we got back together, and she and I have more in common than we ever thought politically, and it's really been a big benefit. The internet brought my family back together, ironically, and the internet brought me Sarah too. I never would have met Sarah had I not had the internet. So we're getting a lot of benefits from the open internet. Even this show and the third party really is benefiting from venues like Vaughn and other free networks. Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, my sister and I weren't talking for many years, but it doesn't really, long-term affect how I view our relationship. That's nice, Shrek. Well, she's here right now in the chat room, so she can talk to you guys independent of me. Yes, the internet brought me to you too, Jacket Pockets. So I made a steak fajita dinner. It looks really, really tasty. It's going to be something you can microwave, the non-GMO flour tortilla, which is great. I hate eating GMO products. And then I made this great, wonderful mixture of peppers and onions and sliced carrots too. I got carrots in there, which you normally wouldn't put in steak fajitas, but I thought I needed to put something with nutrition in there. So I long sliced the carrots and kind of threw them in there. You found some Trump supporters, really? Wow. Those look like the Pete Boys. The Pete Boys, I remember the Pete Boys. They used to hang out down by the river eating government cheese. Some Trump supporters, folks, have decided to Okay, well, you're definitely willing to have dinner if you want. Go ahead, go for it.
Oh, good. Thank you. I am going to go have some cheese and that.
Yeah, it'll be good. It's on the stove, slow simmering. It should be very tasty. There are meat inside of it. And enjoy. I wouldn't eat the soup, though. It's got MSG in it. That soup has MSG from Y2K.
Oh.
Well, just so you know, she has a reaction sometimes to MSG. Yeah, I'm finally eating this soup that's been sitting there in the cupboard for 15 years. It was actually expired in 2000. And I'm still eating my Y2K food, which is kind of interesting. I don't know anything about Skull and Bones. I'm not a part of it, but I know of Skull and Bones and the overwhelming nature of Chapter 322 of the Masons. I think that we're very concerned that these secret societies exist. And I personally am against ever joining a secret society. I will never join it. I'm not a joiner. That's one good thing about me is I would never join secret societies. I don't do the bidding of private concerns. I won't be viable, unlike every other president you've ever had. Well, I'm one of these guys that eats everything I can see as food, and I'm not gonna let it go to waste. It is good that there's no GMO food in that Y2K can. They didn't develop GMOs until right after Y2K, so that's good. You know that Campbell's is now going to break out and talk about whether they have GMOs in their food. They're going to have GMO labeling. Campbell's is really pushing a very weird agenda. Many people don't know that they're going to actually publish that they are genetically modified. I don't personally like monosodium glutamate, but I'll eat it if I have nothing else to eat. I've heard about botulism, Andy. If the can isn't popping out, it's safe. Botulism will create a huge blowout in the can. Andy doesn't understand what it's going to take to survive the coming apocalypse that Donald or Hillary are going to put us in. I'm just getting ready for all of you to realize you may have to eat some old food that's sitting around in the cupboard. I know. Just get used to the idea that whatever doesn't kill you will make you stronger. Say it isn't so. It's hard to survive, yeah. Well, they're taking down our rights slowly. What happened with the Lavoy Finicum and the attack on in Oregon by the FBI, where they ambushed him, was kind of a warning sign And I believe that the government's sending out little red flags everywhere, telling people to watch out, as if we've done anything wrong. Nobody's done anything wrong. But they've already arrested a lot of the people that gathered at the Bundy Ranch in protest with armaments. And they already are now rounding people up over the issue of the Lavoy Finicum thing. So, being we're not involved in violence, and we never encourage that activity, we're not a part of that movement. That really wasn't a movement. It was just like a massive protest that got a lot of airtime. And you're beginning to wonder if this isn't some sort of a psyops, that there's some element of it that is designed to create fear and trigger unrest in the country. Because some people believe that, we're headed toward martial law. It's a premise that a lot of people have right now, especially with the Patriot Act and the new Freedom Act, which is a rewrite of the Patriot Act. Ironically, the two parties rewrote it. The Republicans did. And then you've got National Defense Authorization Act, which has rescinded the Posse Comitatus ruling, which was an act that prevented Army from being used against its own people. So now they've unleashed all kinds of potential problems. Americans could be considered enemy combatants and denied their rights. I mean, as we sit watching the two-party system talk about trivialities like ISIS, the fear of this unknown terrorist group, we're forced to, digest a couple different things, which really is irrelevant. And many people are saying, why don't they talk about the real issues? Why don't they talk about ending GMOs in our food stream? Why don't they talk about creating American jobs that produce products? I mean, nobody seems to understand we have to support our industry. If we were to mass produce these things in America for under $1 a watt, and say these were carpet rolls that's literally set on top of a roof, could roll right out, you can imagine how easy this would be to install with technicians. 4 or 5 guys and gals working on the crew could actually get these things up and running, and you could make $2,000 on every house and move on to the next one. That's the way to generate a Rosie the Riveter style rebuild to our economy. Mass production is something that everybody wants. This is how it's done, folks. And these people don't do that. The corporate venture capitalists, people that buy out companies like Donald Trump, simply to grab all the money they can and then bankrupt the corporations like he did with 4 corporations. These people don't understand how to build a product that everyone will want to use. They just don't. I mean, I saw his ties and belts wholesale for $10 a piece over at a local outlet store. Apparently he didn't sell enough of them. 2,000 will be equivalent to the amount of hours necessary. You've got a lot of electrical connections. We're going to have an inverter. We're going to be tapped into the electric system. I don't support the smart boxes that are out there. Smart electric boxes are not something I support. We don't want to do that. There's too many RF frequencies coming into those central things. What we're going to do is adapt possibly a backup battery system or a capacitor that will prevent a house from running out of energy for about an hour or two in the event of a shutdown. Something that would give us a little bit of survivability, maybe even a day. We'll look at that long term. But the package that the guys will be delivering to your door for free, by the way. This program will be initially going out for free. You'll be paying for it with the electric savings off of your electric bill. So you'll be having a reduced bill, and we'll get a chunk of that money to pay for the infrastructure. That's what we're going to be doing, creating American jobs. I'm not afraid to say that, yes, the government is responsible for creating jobs. Yes, it is. When Obama was asked that fateful question, it was indicative of his lack of understanding of his own business sense and his own economic understanding of the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act. ARRA was all about, the goal was originally about creating jobs. I didn't support it. But for him to have said publicly, well, make no mistake about it, the government is not responsible for creating jobs. When he said that, he basically did an about face on everything Ben Bernanke was trying and anything that Dodd-Frank was trying. He basically turned a blind eye to the simple fact that FDR created jobs in the 1930s and 40s that stimulated our economy with the WPA and the CCC. Franklin Delano Roosevelt, you remember him. The only thing you have to fear is fear itself. Well, that was a guy that definitely understood how to build this economy. I didn't really like him. I still don't feel that he was a fair individual. I felt he acted like a dictator. But he did get traction in our economy, and the New Deal definitely took off with Rosie the Riveter type jobs. But Obama didn't understand that, and I don't believe Trump does, or Hillary. So Hillary was actually on record saying last year that she didn't think that business created jobs. I mean, absolute moronic statements from these presidential candidates. It's absurd. Of course business creates jobs, so does government. Yes, Adele, I can live on $100 a month. My house is paid for. But if I have to cover insurance and utilities, it's a little bit harder to meet $100 a month. If I was living in a pup tent in the woods on $100 a month in food supply, I could definitely live. If you guys are really on a tight budget right now, I recommend first and foremost, getting a 10-pound bag of baking potatoes. That's a requirement. Your family will benefit from the nutrition, the value in the potatoes, but most of all, it's a good source of food in the event of a crunch. Onions are cheap. Boiling onions, get those. Get carrots. Carrots are very reasonable. 2 pounds are usually about $1.50. So you can accommodate for a lack of money by not going to fast food restaurants all the time and basically cooking out of a microwave. Yeah. Yeah, carrots are food too. I know. I didn't believe that. Guess you were very lucky when you didn't have to work. Well, that's good. Okay, we'll get the guest chat back in. Thank you, guys. I don't want to leave the guest chat off, but I mean, it's so incredibly disturbing at times, we may have to shut it off again. Yeah, well, one of the things I'm not internal hippie is a rich corporate pig. All right? Unlike my competitors, I am not an egomaniac or living on some deluded belief that America is no longer great. I did not mean to ban freedom of speech for you. Could you guys get me a cowbell or some sort of a sound effect, please? Because right now I just have crickets. Better Business Bureau is about as corrupt as it can be. Check out this coverage from the ABC News.
Who do you turn to when you want to check out a company you plan to do business with? Well, for tens of millions of people every year, it's the Better Business Bureau. You know the name. But what you've never heard until tonight is that the organization itself is under fire.
How do companies earn the Better Business Bureau's coveted A rating or have their reputations tainted with an F?
Well, we'll find out more when we no longer have monetization from the BBBC channel. Yeah. I wish I could play that, but they're going to hit me with a monetization charge on YouTube, unfortunately. You've never ever made a donation, 860. Anyone who trumps up their business to sound a lot better than it is, name Trump when his name really isn't Trump, it's Drumpf. It's a German name his grandfather changed. Here's a cowbell sound, because we have a big requirement for cowbells. Okay, cowbell's on cue. I don't think they're going to get me with monetization on that one. Is that enough cowbell for you? Thank you. You felt your parents needed to save their own money and prepare for old age, yeah. In an ideal world, that's perfect, yeah. If everything would be perfect. Uh-oh. Yeah, guys, could you just... Yeah, thanks. Oh, it goes to the moo effect right after the... It's going from effect to effect. Okay, thank you. Better Business Bureau. Now, if I played this, it'd be kind of risky, but let me play it again.
But tonight, it gets some bad grades of its own.
On Hollywood's biggest nights, when the stars come out and everything has to be the very best, it's Wolfgang Puck who is chosen to prepare the big gala.
You know, that guy said to me, he said, "You are a very strange man," when I met him. I met him in 1986, I believe. He says, "You are," he walked around me, and I was in a store right near where his Spa Goes West was. He walked around, he looked at me, and he looked at me again, and he said, "You are a very strange man." And I said, "You, sir, are a very strange man." That's all I've ever said to him.
Dinner. A celebrity in his own right, with restaurants across the country, and a regular on Good Morning America. Puck's brand and reputation are impeccable. Yet the Better Business Bureau has slammed parts of Puck's food empire with grades as low as an F.
Wow. Really?
Which Puck says is because he won't pay them to become a member.
You know.
Oh, he's a very astute German businessman. Or Austrian, I think German. Yeah, I tried to sell him some wine one year when I was promoting organic wine. The guy ended up taking 16 bottles of sample wine, drinking them all, and never putting an order together. I don't have a toupee. This is my real hair. All right. So what are we going to... I mean, Better Business Bureau, he didn't pay to be part of it. Interesting. A little bit of the tightwad there.
If you become a member, you're sure to get an A.
God, it was the same guy that says, "You are a very strange man."
But if you don't pay, it's very difficult to get an A. And I don't know what we do wrong or right.
Well, maybe you should pay. I mean, come on. But it's true. The Better Business Bureau is very unfair. Private organization. It has nothing to do with the government. You know, the IRS is a private company. It's not a government company. Isn't that interesting? The CIA is a private corporation. Many people don't know that. You are a very strange man. You know, yeah, he should never slander Trump for having a good grade. That's true. Especially when you grade your own companies. I am not bald. This is my real hair. You can see my scalp. I can pull on my strands. You're just jealous. My hair is better than Trump's. You know, this is getting a little bit self-serving. I don't want to spend the whole night talking about me. I want to talk about you. Yeah, let's put the chat under scrutiny here. Yeah, let's talk about what you want to do. The U.S. Post Office, another private company. So true, 534. Yeah, USPS. In-profit business, not to help the American people. Sarah can attest to my real hair. Well, I can talk incessantly, so because this is a non-stop event every night, I don't mind sharing my personal stories, like my encounter with Wolfgang Puck. I thought it was kind of funny. I'm going to add it to my book. You want recognition of your efforts for this campaign. Thank you. Well, so far since you've been on the show, you've contributed a great deal to chat, 860. And I would like everyone to give a big round of applause for 860. Thank you. Good job. Well, Walton just realized Trump was not really focused on telling one thing or versus the other. Walton came to the conclusion when he heard Trump last night in the debates kind of waver on the refugee issue. I've said no refugees for 2 years, and I'm going to keep them parked on Ellis Island or in the Channel Islands on the West Coast or in the southern encampments we have down near the border with Mexico. But in no way will we let them come into the country. But he sounded like an apologist for the Syrian rebels the other night. It was like, well, I understand how humanitarian aid is no necessary for these poor... I mean, come on, Trump. Stick to the no refugee plan. That's why people are listening to you. Of course, I want them to listen to me, so thanks for listening to me, Walton. We're finally realizing the importance of a third party, bringing our troops home, ending the Federal Reserve, creating jobs, creating green technologies, giving you a 4-day work week and paying Americans first. That's what we're shooting for. A nation that is completely self-contained, yet open to trade with other countries, not destabilizing international relations with people like Putin and President Xi of China. But we have to always keep the realization up that we have got to keep the pressure on to create this third party. We will never give up. That's why we can't stop, because we won't stop.
We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight.
All right, everybody. It's halfway through the show, the traditional 3-hour show.
We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight.
We do a 4-hour show recorded sometime.
In this coming election year, please vote for David Sponheim. America's Third Party.
For president.
Can't stop.
Can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. Can't stop. Can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. Can't stop.
First we hit 'em low, then we hit 'em high. Underrated, but we made it to the finish line.
This is what we're all about.
Combine and intertwine. Spring to the summer, fall, even winter time. Beats banging harder, then head on collisions. We make incisions with precision and quick decisions. Causing double visions if you ain't up to speed. You need to speed it up, partner. Piano read.
We can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. Can't stop. Can't stop. Can't stop. Can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. Can't stop. Can't stop. Can't stop. Can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. Can't stop. Can't stop. Can't stop. Can't stop.
In this coming election year, please vote for David Sponheim. America's Third Party.
All right, thank you. Can't stop because we won't stop. Thank you.
We can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance on.
We got to stop now. Okay, so when you get a presidential candidate with my intelligence who has great ideas for the country, you really want to know why I'm the better candidate. Well, for one, we have a mobile medical unit idea we want to implement with the mobile medical VA system. Every American veteran will be able to get free health care here, and we'll also be able to provide a copay health care to anybody else who wants to actually get it. $30 for a copay. If you can't afford it, you sign a waiver and you still get free health care. This takes the price of medical care out of the equation and brings us to a leveling of the playing field when it comes to providing people good health care, preventative health care, trauma health care without having to gouge you guys financially. And Sanders doesn't have these ideas. No liberal has these ideas. I'm the only person who's got these ideas to help federally solve the problem and create a bypass to the healthcare crisis. Okay. California's about to get a ton of rain, but it's still not enough to beat the drought. Scissorfight's been tracking the chemtrail activity in the high pressure zone that they've created in California. I believe that the drought in California is actually being altered with weather modification. And I'm not the only one who believes that. Many people believe it now. I know that Dade Wigington, the guy from geoengineeringwatch.org, has been very vocal about how he believes it's an artificially created drought in California. Let's take a look here and see what this article has to offer. Yeah, see that high pressure zone that's pushing all the water up around where we are, creating a drought in California? It's all been artificially engineered. There's a ton of rain in the forecast for California. A fire hose of moisture from the tropical Pacific Ocean expected to take aim at the West Coast, delivering a series of storms to the Golden State. But although the weather pattern appears to be changing, the drought is not. And even a wetter than average March may be too little, too late. Yeah, so it's a matter of not having water reclamation capabilities. Okay, you want to talk about GMOs? I definitely don't want GMOs in our diet. You know, Russia has gone out on a limb talking about how they're never going to have GMOs. Putin has made it a big bragging point for his country that they don't want to ever have GMOs in the Russian agricultural program. Well, I can tell you that I personally believe that GMOs do cause cancer in laboratory animals, and we need to stop the reckless use of GMOs. But I mean, there are issues where GMOs are not completely benign. But in the case of of Roundup Ready and glyphosate, which is a dangerous chemical associated with Roundup, definitely GMOs are danger, for sure. But there's talk about a genetically modified fish that's twice or 3 times the size of salmon. I'm still looking at that and seeing whether that may just be a solution for some of the fishing crisis that we're facing. Our fisheries are under attack right now, big time. No, you can drink, man. I even have beer in my refrigerator. I just don't drink. If I do have a drink, it'll be just a social event. Yeah. Well, I'm trying to diet myself, so I'm not going to have more than 1 fajita, I've decided. But yeah, I don't really like the feeling alcohol makes people feel. It's this feeling of, you know, having the room spinning and wanting to vomit. I don't know, it just doesn't sound appealing to me. Maybe it does to you. All right. What about the reptilian aliens? We don't talk about that on Friday, but if you want to, we can talk about it. It's Freedom Friday. You can talk about whatever you want. I was going to draw you a picture here and, you know, show you how the mobile medical unit was going to be set up. I like to draw, so I'm going to take this time to draw a picture for you. Okay, this unit will actually have a tent outside of it. Wherever we go, we'll set up this tent. So it'll extend back. You could also imagine having a seating area, like foldable seats that are portable, even a couple tiers of seats like that. And then maybe one large 60-inch LED TV on the side. So you're gonna, in the back here will be a dispensary for medical marijuana. That's how we're going to finance the operation of the mobile medical unit. We're also going to rely on co-pays to do this. But the net cost for building these units, it'll take approximately $2 billion. And we will get the money from the existing super fund, the Veteran Super Fund. And the nice thing about this, I don't actually need to rely on Congress to pass this. We can do this right away. I can hit the ground running on the mobile medical units. We can hit the ground running on the Homestead Renewal Plan. We don't need congressional support there either because it's already a plan in HUD called HOME. We can activate a $4 billion program and start building houses that are already currently built, but renovating them and fixing them up, getting them right back on track, and giving you guys the home ownership dream fulfillment that you're seeking. I'm not lying at all. In fact, everything I say I can implement. So don't go around talking about other candidates without knowing that I'm the guy that spells it out for you, how I'm going to do it. Doesn't need to be past Congress. Congress doesn't have to approve the mobile medical unit system, nor does it have to approve the Homestead Renewal Plan. I don't need Congress. It's already programs in place that will do this. The Homestead Renewal Plan is equivalent in nature to the HOME program. That's one idea that I'll be implementing as soon as I hit the ground running as president. No, the funding's already there. As president, I can tap into the funding for the Veterans Administration by building the mobile medical VA system, which will be a modernization of our existing VA facilities, giving us more modern equipment, telemedicine vehicles that can actually spider out to various areas and rotate around cities once a day in different areas. There'll be online referencing to all the things that we're doing, so people will know exactly where the unit will be. Kasich is not in favor of medical or recreational marijuana, I don't think. None of the other candidates are supporting recreational marijuana legalization except for me. Bernie wants medical marijuana. That's a bad move. We're not stealing any VA money. The VA money superfund is $135 billion and is being used right now to rebuild various locations around the United States. It's simply within that scope we're going to build this. $2 billion is actually for operating expenses for 1 year as well. Right now, Bengalitis, this new reveal about OJ's knife that was held in possession of a cop for the past few years. I mean, if this evidence is admissible and if there's sheds any light on his innocence, we certainly would consider pardoning OJ Simpson. Absolutely. You know, I understand he's contracted HIV from that transgender he was having sexual encounters with. Yeah, I mean, we really need to find out the crime. Does the crime match the punishment? In the case of his recent charge, and since he did get vindicated, he was acquitted of any wrongdoing in the criminal case. But in lieu of his recent charge of having a weapon while trying to repossess his own souvenir collectible, that's a bit extreme. He had a 10-year sentence on that. I felt that was extreme. So yes, consider a pardon for OJ. Unless, of course, this new evidence shows he's definitely the murderer. That would be very interesting. But the chain of evidence was broken recently. I haven't had dinner. I actually made steak fajitas for Sarah, and I hope she enjoyed hers. And I made an extended Y2K vegetable beef soup from a can from 2000 that I just pulled out of the cupboard. I said, I got to eat this. So what I did was I took onions and celery and some Italian seasoning and garlic powder and steamed it with a little bit of barbecue sauce that I had sitting around. There's a small amount at the bottom, and I got that, you know, nice and glazed in the microwave, and I threw the can of Y2K chicken or vegetable soup on top of it. And that has MSG in it. So I'm not really keen on MSG, but I don't like to waste food. So over the next few years, I'm probably going to be well, I think I'm almost down to my final 2 cans of Y2K food, actually. Thank you. Yes, the chain of evidential custody was broken, Mad Dog said. Yeah, so it wouldn't even apply to OJ's guilt or innocence. Oh, well, yeah, I eat expired food. The government actually said recently that, let me see if I can pull that story up. This is interesting. Look at this article, and I'll give you a full rundown of what this is. This is Washington Examiner. USDA app aims to stop Americans from wasting 36 pounds of food a month. This is worth looking at. The government is actually telling you to not throw away the food that's over the past due. The Agriculture Department has determined that 36 pounds of food per person is wasted every month, about 21% of the available food in the U.S., and one big reason, those expiration dates are wrong or overly cautious. All right? Now there's a link to verify what I'm saying. You see I'm backing everything up with facts for all of you fact checkers. So don't worry about expired food, folks. As long as it doesn't appear to be bursting, the can has got to be intact. If it's bursting open, it's dangerous. I don't throw away anything really. You know, many of you don't understand that it's important to eat every little bit that you have, so that, you know, people that don't have anything don't go without. Our country wastes so much food, it's insane. I don't really quote Kim Kardashian when referring to food or expired food, but thank you. Well, are you an elite or are you a serf, guest 743? Because there's only a few elites. The rest of us are serfs. I have bragging rights to say that I'm an average American. So I'm proud of that fact. Maybe you're not proud of that fact. Maybe you're like Trump and you want to make America great again. I think America is great, even if we do eat expired food. But I wouldn't eat moldy food. God, that sounds disgusting. Yeah. 10 billion pounds of food wasted per month. That's right. Yeah. Now you're getting a big picture of what's happening. I'm a very average guy. Yeah, I really am. I'm above average in other areas that I care not mention. I don't really want to talk about all the things I excel at. I feel like I'm bragging all the time. No, I'm not moldy either. In fact, there's not a stitch of black mold on my body. As you can see, my entire exterior is normal. No, I'm not lying at all. Calling me a liar is like calling the sun the moon. It's impossible. No, I'm not a modern man's Donald Trump. I'm actually not a greedy person. I'm a non-materialistic person. I don't have any airs about me. I don't like greedy people. I'm not an attention whore. I do this show reluctantly. Frankly, I'm kind of private. And I'm not gay. And yet I get called gay because I'm hung like a horse. I know. Thank you for sharing. They are mean and nasty. I got a lot of attention as a child, probably more than you. You probably never nursed on your mother's nipple. You seem like a person who's got a oral fixation, especially in your chat. You know, I don't like Lamborghinis. I prefer Teslas. I have a test drive with a Tesla in the Bellevue area. I was thinking of going down there and taking a ride with it. It's an $85,000 car. I'm a little hesitant to spring for it, but you never know. No, Sarah doesn't cry at all. We have a very normal relationship. Yeah, I think I should take the guy up on the Tesla test drive. You got to admit that's kind of cool. Insect Man uses implanted antenna to hear colors. Draft Brain. I can tell this is Friday. We've got nothing on our mind. So I showed you earlier the amazing before and after pictures of Ivanka Trump. Okay. You know, I'm personally in favor of solar energy and against the Nevada utility. That's my position. Yes to concentrated solar, no to Nevada utility. You know, I like the before picture. I don't know what she wanted to do to change her face, but she does now look like an Egyptian goddess. That much I can tell you, but I don't know. I kind of like the more ethnic minority look that she had going before. Actually, she looks like a good German girl. All right? The Drumpf family is very well known in Germany. It's Drumpf, yeah. His original name that he doesn't want to carry. Many of you have Germanic heritage, so you'll understand why I kept my name David Sponheim. But Drumpf, he doesn't want to actually keep his name. His grandfather changed it to Trump. That's like changing my name to David Spawn. I mean, can you imagine? Hey, the name's Spawn, David Spawn. Sounds a little creepy, doesn't it? David Spooge. Yeah. I don't know what they replaced her. I'm beginning to think, is this really Ivanka? You really believe this is Ivanka? You know, she has the same eyebrows. The eyes are very similar. Ja, he is German. Ja, das ist richtig. Ja, Donald Trump is German. His grandfather was German. Ja, you did not know that? Yeah, his family was named Trump. Look it up online. I've been called Wolfgang Puck, but he's not receiving my phone calls after he said, you are a very weird man. You're a very strange man. I couldn't believe that. I don't drink soda. It has phosphates in it, which cause your calcium development in your bones to not work so right. They didn't tell you that because they don't want you to know that. Phosphates prevent calcium production in the bone structure itself. Read it. I have more knowledge than you. I've forgotten more than you'll ever learn. David Jones? You're thinking I'd change my name to Jones, huh? I don't know, man. I like my name. I don't know about you, but I'm proud of my Germanic heritage. Unlike Trump. You know that 53% of this country has Germanic heritage? I have no knowledge of blood and bone. What is this, a secret society or something? Well, you're drinking Coke and you may get osteoporosis at a young age. That's my point, Evil to Dance. This is your chance to shine, man. No, lobsters are omnisexual. That finally, Ben Carson dropped out. That took forever. It took like 3 days of him hemming and hawing about it. David Jones is not a good name, no. David Sponheim is a good, strong name. What is wrong with you? You can't remember my name? I mean, it's that simple. Think of Stephen Sondheim, the famous composer. Or think of Anaheim, California, the home of Disneyland. Just remember me before it's too late. Write my name in the upcoming general election. I'm never dropping out. This is a three-party split. We've got a chance right now. Yeah, I'm just having fun with the Bond scripting. Well, stop overeating. I don't know if you were a mod. I don't know. Were you a mod? I don't know. I just unmodded you, so. I modded somebody here, but it didn't stick. Thank goodness. Yeah, we don't allow anybody to be mods, except, of course, me. Me. Yeah, I'm getting tired of talking about me, all right? Can we change the subject?
Right. There was letting him disperse, and I'd be happy to talk to you about it. I think you might be under some misconceptions about what we're doing, but I'm happy to tell you any details you need.
Well, I know that it says in your article that you're doing it for communications.
Okay, I'm happy to talk to you more about it. There are many reasons we're doing it.
Okay.
We don't understand how the wind in the upper atmosphere moves.
Mm-hmm.
In these chemtrails, there's different kinds of chemtrails, as you probably know. Different trails at night we use, and different trails during the day.
Oh, now I know. Thank you for telling me. That's not a zip-up tie. This is an actual Stephen Harris tie of the Stephen Harris collection. You can buy these online. They're pretty cool. All right, let's stop talking about Dave tonight. Let's just write my name in. Force a recount. Thank you. I don't want to belabor the issue, but Trump really did back down on the refugee thing last night, and I don't know why he would do that. Doesn't he realize that he's going to lose votes to me? Dave Sponheim? Doesn't he realize that Dave Sponheim is going to take his votes? Because Dave Sponheim is the guy that has the more brains than Donald Trump. Speaking about number one, thank you. I've taken my intelligence and amplified it to a whole nother level. You know, they say that we only use like 1/3 of our brain power. Well, I'm going to show you my brain power and how much brain power I actually use. Okay? Okay. Anaheim. Spelled. You're not spelling Anaheim right. Okay, hang on. I'm setting up my brain power. Well, your brain was turned off when you were born. I'm trying to activate it. Many of you have been pre-programmed. But I will help you with that right now. I am currently using a portion of my brain. It is considered the cerebrum, the CPU stem. Nineheim. I am going to try to read chat from behind the scrim. Okay. The frontal lobe of the brain, this section right here, is in areas of thought processes the most formative area of the brain that involves thinking and decision making. As you can see, this section is enlarged in my brain, primarily because I smoke some pot on occasion. Okay? Well, I vape, actually. And they say that it creates an enlarged frontal lobe. That being the case, nothing to worry about. Just because it's an enlarged frontal lobe, it means the other part of your brain is pushing back a little bit. Okay? Nothing to worry about here. But the scientists have just discovered that this is the area, this area right here, that actually involves decision making. And the decision making that you make when you become an adult affects the way you think. So it turns out that the body is doing a type of trimming activity. It trims the decisions. It decides what's right versus wrong. And this type of behavior is an activity that goes on during the early adolescence all the way to about 28 years old, when the brain is fully formed. And it's something that has been attributed to psychosis, this trimming of information. They find that the C4 levels of certain hormone levels of certain young people that are extremely high prevent their brain from functioning, and they have a psychotic break. The medulla oblongata is a separate section of the brain, yet. But the frontal lobe of the cerebrum is involved in decision making, as well as affected by marijuana smoking. So it's interesting to note that they think that marijuana leads to psychosis, but it doesn't, actually. It creates an acute psychotic reaction like paranoia, but it's not chronic. There's no studies that confirm that it's chronic. So it's a temporary feeling affecting the frontal lobe, which also happens to be the center of your ability to decide what is right versus wrong. So if you're seeing or hearing voices or beings around you and hallucinating, that would be happening because your body did an incorrect job of trimming and limiting information. Welcome to the Sponheim Institute of Amateur Brain Analysis. Yeah. No coffee is my friend. I use 5 cups a day to keep going, percolating. And they found, ironically, that 51% of the people that drink coffee are less depressed. Isn't that interesting? No, I wasn't dropped on my head as a baby. I have an incredibly rich rich mind that can think of various things that many of you probably wouldn't even begin to think about. For instance, what if I told you that the universe is actually infinite? And I asked you to imagine how far infinite is. So when you look at the infinite universe, let me take you on a journey to the infinite universe. You're traveling through both time and space, both things and ideas. You just crossed over into the infinite universe. like the infinite universe? Freeze frame. Stop. Okay, so when you imagine how far this is, what do you think about? Is there an end to the infinite universe? Is there an end somewhere out there? I've got my magic wand. Does the infinite universe end? Then contemplate what an infinite universe is. How can we have more than one infinite universe? Well, physicists claim that we have multiple universes. I don't understand how we can have multiple universes when it's infinite. Carl Sagan said, "The infinite universe." Who cares? Carl Sagan's dead. Well, the reality is the infinite universe is infinite. And there's no multiple universes. There's no point at which the universe stops. It goes on and on and on. You can imagine how incredibly egomaniacal it is for human beings to think that we're special. You know? I'm special. Like Stuart Smalley. I mean, you begin to see how trivial our lives really are. I believe in life outside of our Earth. I don't necessarily believe in aliens like Star Wars and all the different characters in Star Wars. I mean, I'm more likely to believe that Stuart Smalley is an alien than aliens.
Because I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me.
Anyway, this guy went on to become a senator. Tell me that's not weird. Senator Smalley, that's right. But in the infinite universe, we really are dealing with a tremendous number of possibilities. And the Drake equation was developed by mathematicians many years ago, Drake being one of the mathematicians. And it takes into effect that the infinite universe coming together with the probability of life outside of this Earth converges on an absolute 100% guarantee there is life outside of our Earth. Whether it's some smelly little bacteria that, floating in some weird geode somewhere, but is it some alien reptile force? I don't think so. And logical minds reveal the simple fact that there are no real photographs of a real alien. If you can show me a real alien, I'd love to see it. Ooh. Tantaleo said something. See what you said. Survey said, yes, there are. They just don't want to be seen. Oh, so they're hiding. These aliens are hiding. Oh, I get it. You really like this talk with Mr. S? Okay, thanks. That's nice of you to say that. You need to do this more, Tantaleo. Yeah. Me talking to the camera. I do this every night. That's right. Well, Connie hasn't been on the show in some time. She's my sister. Yeah. She did a show with me and it didn't work out too well. We were talking about the false flag event known as the the Paris attack. And many people don't realize that there were no real bodies at that event. Nobody can really quantify who really died. There were supposedly, 99 people that died in the Paris shooting? Or the Paris bombing? That was a discussion I was having with my sister when we had a little argument. Yeah. Oh yes, very smart. But let me show you a picture that really stumped everybody in our chat room. We haven't talked about the Paris bombing attack in some time. But look at this. This is really interesting. Scissorfight put this to slow motion. It's a picture of the cafe outside of the Paris attack. And it shows one of the women that comes in to hide, literally throwing a cluster bomb of firecrackers into the Paris cafe. Look at that. You're going to see her throw it through an open window. The window had been knocked out, and she tosses it with her hand. See it? And she literally throws it in right there. See? Tosses it right in there, and they blast. They're like blast caps that ignite when they're thrown. I don't exactly know what kind of a particular device she used, but this is the telltale sign, the red herring, that tells us that this entire Paris bombing attack was probably put out to make people fearful of another jihadist attack, an ISIS attack. And this is an endless stream of propaganda that's been being pushed upon the American people. This is just one of the many true events we're seeing up close and personal that kind of defeats the whole theory that these fake events are real. It basically puts that to rest. All right, well, that was fun. Okay, back to the infinite universe. No, that was not fake. That was an actual photograph taken from a surveillance camera at the cafe that showed people running in, hiding, and veritably the person that was hiding was the person that threw the little cluster bomb of whatever, firecrackers. Won't stop because we won't stop because we won't, don't stop, don't stop. David, you belong to a church. The church of no, I don't. I was baptized Catholic, and I did catechism. It was a kind of a guilt trip I suffered from when I was a kid. All the way up until the age of 11, I felt so guilty that I hadn't gone and completed my catechism. My siblings had all completed theirs, and I felt like it was something I needed to do. So I went to Saturday catechism school for like 6 or 9 weeks, something like that. And I finished the program, and I got my daily Eucharist and did the communion. Yeah, I don't care if you are a Satanist. It doesn't matter. I personally deplore Satanism, but you have the right to freedom of religion in my world. You know, I protect the rights of Muslims to simply have a religion. In no way I'm going to ID Muslims. When Donald went out on a limb and talked about that, you know, when I said no refugees, I didn't call them Muslims. I didn't call them Christians. I didn't call them reptilians. I simply said I didn't want refugees coming into our country. But you have the right to worship whatever you want. But at the age of 11, I decided that was it. I was there. I was absolved of any sins I may have committed, and it was good for me. I didn't understand the ritualism necessary to constantly absolve yourself of an endless stream of sins that you may or may not have committed. It began to look a little fake to me. So I basically abdicated my faith in the Catholic Church at that time and went on to become an evolved human being, untethered to any one particular religion. Well, it's scary, yeah. I was in a class where the nuns were slapping kids' wrists with rulers. It was pretty weird. I must say, it was a corporal punishment going on right in front of my face. I was not new to that, though. I'd already personally experienced corporal punishment in the public school system. Dr. Boyd, let's see what we got here. Yeah, here's the story about the alien guy from... This is an ex-CIA guy who claims that aliens are real and friendly. Here he is. Well, I suffered from some physical abuse in one of my public school classes. It's all going to be documented in my book. You'll be able to read about it. Yeah, look at that. Aliens are real and friendly. Yeah, I'm going to believe a Polaroid picture of some guy holding this little thing. Well, you know, if there are aliens, I will be the first to disclose that. I have committed to the Full Disclosure Project, Stephen Greer's SETI project, so I will commit to that. Meow TV, you have many PhDs. Yeah, according to Meow TV, he has 7 PhDs in meowology and theology. No, I was never molested in public school. I was, however, violated. My civil rights were violated. Yes, we will legalize prostitution. Yep, I'm convinced. There's no need to charge women and men with crimes that they need to get checked up for AIDS. If they don't get checked up, it poses a huge health risk. You know, I like Stephen Greer, and I'm sorry you don't trust him, but I watched a lot of his videos. I think he's a good person. I think he's been ignored by the mainstream media. I was surprised when they actually produced a fossil of an ancient alien, and no one cared. No, I don't have AIDS. Yeah, we're a little concerned that Stephen Greer has been treated improperly by the media, kind of like me, ignored. Now, Mitt Romney is being sued in federal court for criminal racketeering. Go figure. Yeah, I believe in God. I've had a personal relationship with the Lord. That's one of the reasons why I left the Catholic Church, because I don't really believe I need to go through a priest to talk to God in a religious sense, not in an actual sense. I don't talk to God. But you get my drift. In the religious sense, when you pray. Yeah. Well, the priests are required conduits in the Catholic Church to go and talk or pray to God. Okay, take a look at this this item. This is the little guy that Stephen Greer claims is an alien fossil. And it's only about 7 inches long. It's kind of like that thing between your legs, if you're lucky. Yeah. Well, of course I believe in God. If you could explain everything in the world, we wouldn't have to believe in God, would we? If you had a scientifically empirical answer to everything, including ghosts that go bump in the night, we wouldn't have to think of strange, weird, hypothetical beings. But we've chosen to do that in an abstract sense, and many of you have that choice. Many of you don't have that choice because you chose not to believe in anything. Hitler is mentioned 7.7 times a month in congressional meetings. Are you serious? Earth Sky, that's the strangest stat I've ever heard. I'm not really making a reference to Donald Trump when I'm talking about a 7-inch thing. Yeah. I don't need to define God because I have a personal relationship with God. And I can honestly say that this is not my God. I'm not a tool. No, I'm actually a fire extinguisher. If anything, I put fires out. I am the great negotiator. I'm here to save the day. I'm here to make peace with Putin and pave the way toward environmental friendliness on this planet. I was never and will never be a shill, and that's an outright hateful statement you're making there. If I was a shill, I would have mainstream media attention right now. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the only known evidence of an alien species. Hello. It's doing a little boogie. It's doing the alien boogie. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to an alien. Ooh, getting freaked out? Strike a pose. Do you think it's an alien, or is it some guy who spent hours with a microscope and little tweezers working on some weird... You think Stephen Greer is a scam artist? Okay. Well, let's get rid of this alien, okay? It's a piece of art, yeah. It looks real enough, though, and he's awfully cute, isn't he? Okay, let's take the Aussie chemtrail phone call. We played that earlier, 860. Is this your contribution to the show? Okay. Well, I don't want to make you feel in any way little, because earlier you were asking for approval.
Right. There was lithium dispersed, and I'd be happy to talk to you about it. I think you might be under some misconceptions about what we're doing, but I'm happy to tell you any details that you need.
Well, I know that it says in your article that you're doing it for communications.
Okay, I'm happy to talk to you more about it. There are many reasons we're doing it.
Okay.
We don't understand how the wind in the upper atmosphere moves.
Mm-hmm.
In these chemtrails, there's different kinds of chemtrails, as you probably know. Different trails at night we use, and different trails during the day. The wind blows them around. They glow either on their own or from scattered sunlight. We take pictures, and we can see how the wind trail moves around.
Thank you, NASA. Let's do it. Hey, I gotta tell you, there's a lot of new disinformation coming out of various shills for the government. And Newt Gingrich is now trying to defer Donald Trump as not part of a secret society. They're going to try to stand behind their friends in the network that they have, and they're trying to paint Trump as anti-establishment, when he would not have gotten out of 4 major corporate bankruptcies with all that Federal Reserve cash if he hadn't sided with the establishment. So you're going to see a lot of Illuminatis start talking about Trump as though, he's not part of our secret society. We actually saw a video the other night. We played it. It was from somebody who had no subscribers on YouTube, but they had 36,000 hits on this video in the past 3 days. It's pretty funny. The CIA can drop these things out there like they were, wads of disinformation for us to take in, but it painted it out as like, Trump is challenging the establishment, and he's clearly a potential target for this group, and they don't want... He is as much establishment as anybody running. In fact, you wouldn't have Trump in the position he is in right now in the Republican establishment party if he hadn't gotten a little bit of help from the big media moguls out there. I need to remind all of you that I've had no mainstream media attention in 7 years. If you don't recognize this complete, unbelievable atrocity, violation of my rights, I don't know what to say. I mean, if you literally support Trump without even having a good opposition force like myself go up against him, you've got to realize that this entire two-party system is completely owned, bought, and controlled. And if you don't realize that, maybe you need to get a little bit more brain power. I can loan you some of my brain here. I don't have to compete with a guy who just equivocated and gave in to the refugees last night in debate. Trump was asked about no refugees, and he said, well, I think that there's a lot of very important issues with refugees from Syria, and he started to completely give in on the refugee issue. Believe me, Trump doesn't have your back. I do. I came up with a no refugee plan, and I don't want to single out Muslims, okay? Frankly, we will deal with those with major special forces going in to stop encampments of Muslims, but in no way am I going to ID Muslims. That's an outrage, and it's a complete violation of the First Amendment. Many of you don't understand that this is not about attention seeking, it's not about arrogance, this is about the right person running for the presidency and not having a chance because of an incredibly corrupt system we've got that censors the American people. This is about you and I not ever getting a chance to speak out. This is not about Trump. Hello, Sarah.
Okay. Hello, thank you very much. I was just reading Mad Dog's chat.
Oh, yes. I'm the guy with the great ideas that Trump is using to get national notoriety. I'm the one who came up with the 1,000-mile fence idea in 2008. Sarah and I are working on ideas all the time. She's the one that contributed to the lethal electric concept. Fact check time. Romney was named in the suit against Bain Capital for an incident that happened long after Romney left Bain. It's been approved by judge to move forward. So technically nobody's getting sued at the moment, but a lawsuit proposed. Thanks, Mad Dog. He's got the background on Romney in that story. No, it's true. He did. He took the idea. The 1,000-mile fence idea, we were talking about it in 2008 when we first got together. I actually did the math and checked the distance we'd need. I have never stolen any of Trump's ideas. He's taken 6 of mine, and he's probably going to take my newest ones. We've got a concept called Pay Americans First, and I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't come out with that idea pretty soon. It's a solid idea. I'm also talking about a 4-day work week. We'll see if he comes up with that idea too. I'm throwing these at Bones to see if he wants to take them. Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can flesh out the conniving nature of this man who wants to be president so bad that he read Hitler's speeches next to his bedside. According to Ivana Trump, when he was married to her, she had a deposition stating that he had Hitler's speeches by his bedside that he read. Well, I preceded him in terms of the time span. Technically, I could claim copyright breach. You know, any type of written statement preceding another written statement can be pursued in a copyright theft case. It's just a matter of trial time and expenses.
Pretty amazing Earth sky. That little factoid.
Okay, let's go ahead and purge you. Yeah, there you go. The technology in your smartphone is more powerful than that was used in the computers that were used to launch the first space shuttle. And may I remind you that we never really benefited from the space shuttle or the space program. Well, I have proof. I have YouTube videos that predate Donald Trump talking about safe zones. I talked about weapons-free safe zones 7 years before he talked about safe zones. You know, not necessarily. I've seen copyright cases go all the way to court over simply first to print. It's entirely possible. If I decided that I could call myself Meow TV and said, hey, I'm Meow TV and I copyrighted officially. Okay. I've always given you credit for the moat. Every time I talk about the moat, I've always given you credit, Meow TV. But if I were to call myself Meow TV and sue you for copyright violations, and because I'm the one who trademarked it, you could sue me back saying you were first to print. I've got news for you. I am important, and I'm getting more important every second of the day. Okay, I'm going to take a little bit of break, and guests can go put their Peter in their pants and take a cold shower. I'm going to change the background, too. I think this is a little bit confusing for people.
Okay.
I don't want them to think that we're living in some sort of a weird sci-fi, location.
Okay.
Surely I have something else.
I'm sure you do.
Later tonight, I'll be talking about the Fukushima disaster and how I'd like to fix it. That's a pretty good idea. So I'm going to put this as a mnemonic reminder for me to do this before the end of the show.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. So is the warm room good? Is everything warm?
I think so.
Good, okay.
Can't remember. Why don't you go check it out?
Mad Dog was tripping? Okay, that's cool. I will. They say that today's cell phones have more computing power than NASA used to go to the moon in the 1960s. Did NASA go to the moon in the 1960s? Do you have any proof of that? Dead air? Okay. We'll try to get some music for you here. We don't want you to feel left out. This is a little ditty about Sarah and David. I created this on acid by Sony. Okay, Sarah can take over the show. I'm going to just dance and get some more coffee. When you want to stop it, you can just hit the stop button.
Okay. It's all all what they tell us, cat's tail. It's all what they say. Or I tend to believe in mainstream media propaganda. You're not actually here. You're just digital bits. I can't prove that you are here. You're completely digital bits. Bits and bytes, all that jazz. Everything like that. Kind of crazy, isn't it? Just black static. That would be kind of cool. Or a 2-3 day work week. Sometimes David says 4-day work week, and I say, well, if you could hire twice the number of people and have them each work 3 days, and then have businesses open for 6 days. Trying my best, UK0121. Oh, that was funny, David dancing. There you go. That's funny. Oh, it's still loud. It's music. Alright, I'll turn it down a little bit. Is that good? Turned down a bit. Ray of Sunshine, what do you think? This is an American show. That's cute, the little cat dancing, or Sky, very cute. What do I have here? Good, sir. Okay. Smartphone is certainly power enough to do calculations, but it's a very minor consideration because they were close out of here. Speak up, speak louder. It's all good. The coffee came first. David just drank it. Got a free coupon. A quick find tape measure with an ABS casing. That sounds good. I am kind of tired. Ray of Sunshine. I was in the other room thinking I was just relaxing watching a show, and I was like, I should probably be sleeping. No, Meow TV2, there is not Saturday school usually. Unless there's sometimes... I went to school on Saturday one time. I had to because I arrived too late to school 5 times in a row or something. Well, I guess it taught me I never had Saturday. I only had Saturday school once. Alright, sounds good. Call me. Stopped Saturday school back in 1966. I wish they had done it for me. But, oh well. I mean, it does just, like, really punish the teachers. Yeah, it's like Saturday school was like
and now they're faced with the very real prospect of Donald Trump becoming the leader of the party, and it absolutely drives them crazy.
Yeah, I did have a really good week, actually. It was entertaining. Abnormal. Oh goodness, this again? I X'd out of it. Scissor fight. I wasn't impressed with that little picture thing. Oh, yeah. It was fun. It was, today's like Read Across America Day or something like that. Yeah. A knife was reportedly found on the former O.J. Simpson estate. Joey Feek passed away, some country star. I don't know who that is. They didn't find his spoon, but they found the knife, and they think it's a murder weapon. Yeah, it's a construction worker found it and gave it to a cop, and the cop kept it, and okay. Yeah, you might be right, Mad Dog. My hair is keeping it real. It's like all these little pokey things sticking out of my hair. Maybe too. Maybe so, Meow TV too. That would be interesting. China's premier is pledging support for Hong Kong's leader. And the police are questioning Brazil's ex-president in a corruption probe. And the Turkish authorities are seizing a newspaper that's close to Cleric Gulen. They seized control of the country's largest newspaper on Friday in a widening crackdown against supporters of the U.S. I will do that soon, call me. I will be asleep shortly. Or at least in bed, maybe not asleep. Alright. Aurora shooter James Holmes was secretly moved after a prison assault. There's a robocall bomb threats at North Jersey schools. Oh man. A series of bomb threats were phoned into at least 15 North Jersey schools, and this has become a routine issue because some kind of kid hacker probably created a robocall system that calls all the North Jersey schools because he doesn't want to go to school or something like that. You met a guy in upstate New York and he frightened you? Yeah. Oh well, poor guy. I would just say that. Poor guy. On the interwebs, it must be true. Yeah, everything on the internet is true. If it's on the internet, it must be true. When you watch the cooking channel, America looks like paradise, I know. And then you meet people that really live here. No, Oh, that image didn't work for me. The jockey died halfway through his race and he still won. Wow. Wow. He won his first race and only race, even though he suffered a fatal heart attack sometime prior to passing the winning post. Wow. He was lying slumped over the horse's neck across the line. Wow. That's kind of crazy. Whoa, that is so bizarre. A good cup of coffee. Yes. What? So Starbucks pays a UK corporation tax of £8 million. Wow. ScienceNetLinks.com. All about lying. Honest. Thank you, Piranha. Oh, yes, maybe the bakery is open. That would be fun. Think about a time when you told a lie. How did you do it? How did you feel about it? What happened? Whether we want to admit it. Lying is part of life. Okay. Maybe you did it to get out of trouble. I did that once. That was like the only time I've lied that I can remember because I felt so bad about it that I was like, I'm never doing this again. Okay. A lie is a false statement deliberately represented as true, or something meant to deceive or give a wrong impression. Yeah, I don't think not saying something is lying. Lying is considered by many experts to be a natural human tendency. Same way children learn to walk, talk, and cry. Well, they learn to lie at an early age. Avoid punishment or get something they want. Wow. Okay, click it and save it and show it to David. All right. That was kind of weird. They were saying that doesn't work. Your guys' web.webm stuff doesn't work for me. So you don't trust someone that talks with their hands? Blah, blah, blah. Did animals lie? How about plants? Well, yes and no. Who's lying? Hard to tell. Why is detecting liars so hard? Our tendency to believe others is stronger than our inclination to distrust them. That's true.
Okay, so... Oh, I'll be right back.
Focusing on 3 areas can help you improve your odds of detecting a lie. Speech patterns. Look for verbal changes like more pauses, slower speech, stuttering, or elevated pitch. Pay attention what people are saying. Fewer facts and details, less information about times and places. And lies are told in a more structured way and from beginning to end chronologically.
Okay. Hey, yeah, so the thing that the scientists have discovered is this thing called synaptical pruning done by the brain.
When the not syntactical, synapse.
Synaptical, yeah.
So that's a wrong thing.
Yeah, I'm getting it.
Yeah, maybe, yeah, there.
Okay, synaptical pruning done by the brain. So if you wonder why young people are, going crazy at an early age, anywhere from 18 to 28, a lot of psychotic breaks occur. They're discovering that this is a hormonal related to the C4 hormone, and it's
C4 or T4?
The C4 hormone. It's different than the T4 hormone.
Okay.
The C4 is also known as a plastic explosive, but it's a different product entirely. All right, so that's just what I was explaining to you, and I didn't want to, jump into Sarah's conversation. So what were you talking about?
I don't know or care.
Okay.
I'm gonna go to bed. That's what I was talking about.
Wow.
I was talking about lying.
Not
about lying honest. It's just all about lies.
Oh, who's
and why
lying?
People lie and all that. This is fact sheet on lying.
Wow. We don't want people to lie.
Well, people do lie.
Honesty is the best policy. I mean, somebody asked me, David, are you wearing makeup? I am wearing a little makeup, actually. I am. I had to wear a little makeup around my my eyes. Right here. I woke up with kind of like not enough sleep or something. I'm not sure what happened, but scientists create material that could allow us to breathe underwater without oxygen. Yeah, you see crow's feet? Yeah, I know. I'm 55 years old, Ray. You know, I don't believe that breathing underwater is really that wonderful. I mean, I can't imagine wanting to go underwater and saying, oh yeah, I'm going to trust this item to breathe with. You just found the brain and the gut are wired together. Oh yeah, definitely. Ray of sunshine. Yeah, there's a nerve, the sciatic nerve that runs, the vena vaga nerve that runs separate from the sciatic nerve. And the vena vaga nerve is directly connected to your stomach. And it affects your well-being. If you have a weird stomach problem, it can affect your vena vaga nerve to the point where it mirrors heart problems. I'm not a doctor, I'm just saying. I've been around enough people to know that, you know, sometimes heart problems are mimicking, or other problems are mimicking heart problems. Okay, got this as a free coupon today, Dave. It measures your ab casing. Oh, quick fine tape measure. Okay. Vena Vegas. Vena Vegas nerve. Yeah, so you're a big Harbor Freight guy, Mad Dog? Yeah. They put out a pretty good quality, good deals. I mean, I talked to a lady that powered up her generator. Okay, scientists make material that could allow us to breathe underwater without air tanks. Yeah, that's nice. The Aquaman crystal owes much of its ability to absorb oxygen from the environment to cobalt. Oh, no wonder they want to put shards of fiberglass in our atmosphere. Oh, they want us to breathe underwater. I should have known. Aquaman. Yeah. Really? Yeah, lifetime warranties on some of those generators? Well, I met a woman who was living on a piece of property, and she decided to build a tiny house on it. And I met her online because I was looking for some, you know, property in the area for a friend. And this woman had a piece of property for $5,000. It was amazing. But it had a floodplain on it. And she told me that she was willing to sell the property with her Harbor Freight generator. She loved it so much. She's going to buy another one. And they're just amazing. The $100 ones run without very little noise, and they give you enough energy to run a TV set and a couple lights or a space heater. It's not bad. So how many of you are prepping for the end of the world? Just ballpark. Guest on? Have many of you bought some preparations and gotten bug out bags and prepared your family for in the eventuality that something weird's going to happen? Yeah, I know. She tried to build a tiny house and it flooded the area, and they said she wasn't, they didn't even trust her tiny house. She was trying to sell her property because she couldn't live there anymore. No, I'm not gay. I get asked that a lot. I don't know why. A guy named Abe dissects power tools with his master's mechanical engineering degree. Really? Interesting. That sounds cool, carpet muncher. All right. We're having fun. Working on the rail line here. Okay. Good for a few years of use, yeah. You're going to die naturally. Oh, so you don't even care about the end of the world. You basically put your faith and hope and just hoping to live a long life without... Oh, okay. Yeah. I take it not a lot of you are building underground bomb shelters or anything. So you're pretty content, everything's fine, nothing weird's going to happen. Okay. It's nice to know that you're not freaking out. Some people are freaking out. I know that there are some preppers out there that are going, wow. You dug a big hole? Okay. You believe in in a better world. Oh, you know that Jehovah's Witnesses never vote? I found that very interesting. Jehovah's Witnesses never vote, so they'll never understand how they're going to fix the world we're living in, because they believe in Jehovah and a better world will be in heaven or something. Is that what they believe? No, I'm not an end-of-time miser. I'm a person who believes that humanity will survive another 1,000 years with guidance. But I believe I'm that guidance, or people like me. I really believe that we're going to need some really good, intelligent, honest people running this world if we're going to get out of the situation we've been put in. You're really, really drunk, poisoning yourself from just depression because you're unhappy and you want to just bury your woes in alcohol. Good night, everyone. Good night to you, Mad Dog. May you have a wonderful Saturday, Sunday. You can do better, Sarah. What does that mean? I'm not Sarah. Do you think I'm Sarah? Your 13th beer is excessive. You're starting to slur your words. You're starting to slur your words. Now that's just outrageous. I've never done anything wrong in my life. Why would I go to prison? I believe in fairness. How you doing? I don't think this is very fair, them spraying chemicals in our atmosphere. Do you? You know, I'm the only candidate that's actually talking about ending chemtrails. Nobody else has the balls to talk about it. They're all afraid of being called a whack job. Look at this weird thing that's tracing the chemical. You got two jet streams of chemtrails and you got this weird object up here. What is that? Any explanation? Some of you experts on nothing? Check it out. It's like an orb or something that floats out ahead of these things. It's weird stuff, I'm telling you. It could be another jet, too. I mean, they're very small. All right. Bad banana. Yeah, I've been enjoying the fact that the show's kind of interesting tonight. I mean, you guys are able to speak and use your words, and I can watch. Special. And we've got to do our round robin, too. That's important. We don't normally forget that. I talk about all the things we the people need to be discussing. We've had enough. And I'm asking everybody to write my name in the upcoming election, and I'll be doing that on a nightly basis for the next 8 months. But we love to break through into another media, and I'm going to try experimenting more and more with different medias. We've got a live leak show we're planning on doing. I've got a couple of prep videos I'm going to add to the live leak show I'm working on. We're going to be broadcasting on an additional network coming up as soon as it's available. blogtv.ca looks like it's going to be coming online pretty soon. So we'll be multicasting on various networks. Because we just don't get any expressed mainstream media coverage, we have to do everything we can. Yeah, so
our main story tonight.
Lost Week tonight with John Oliver, Donald Trump. It's got 17 million hits already. Came out February 28th. Wow. I don't know. We may watch that tonight. That looks interesting. I don't believe that humans can be immortal. No. I don't believe that you can implant your being or your spirit into a robot or a cybernetic organism. That is absurd. Yeah, the return of Blog TV. Yeah, it's coming back, Big Jim. I think that humans can be immoral. I think we've proven that we've been able to be immoral for some centuries now. But immortal, I think that's a stretch. I don't have many hopes that I'll live past 150. But I think I'll make it to 150, I'm pretty sure. But I don't think I'm immortal. I put my body in a special area when I lay down at night so that it is restful and does not in any way degrade due to gravity. Oh, I was wondering what I was missing. I forgot my magnetic chip. It degausses me as I continue the show, preventing my blood from actually aging. Yeah, chemtrails are everywhere, man. No, I don't believe we can implant our consciousness into a new human body. That's absurd. I believe that the essence of who we are is a mind-body-heart connection. I believe that there is a element of the brain in the heart that science has not developed or discovered. There are things that are still a mystery to our scientists. We probably know about maybe 10% of what we need to know about the human brain. Do you know that when a person has a major life-changing event where they lose their loved one and their heart is broken, that scientists have actually found those people to have a broken heart, literally. Your brain will trigger the breaking of a complete separation of the heart into two lobes, and it actually kills you. I mean, there are many instances of this occurring. People have lost their loved ones and then had a major heart attack right afterwards. So there's a connection there that we just don't know, we don't understand. So putting our spirit in a cybernetic organism is absurd. The trouble with our liberal friends isn't that they are ignorant, it's just that they know so much that isn't so. Nancy, could you bring my jelly beans in while I read off the teleprompter? Yeah, you don't have to come in with religion, man. I mean, a lot of you atheists push your religion on our show, and I really don't like it. Yeah, I'm sick and tired of hearing your religiosity, you atheists. Praise the non-God. That's all you talk about. No, if Hillary said to me, she said, David, I would like you and Huma and I to pull a threesome, and then I'll make you vice president. I would probably go, I'd vomit uncontrollably. I know. I just can't imagine having sex with an old woman and her lover. It just makes me sick. You know, even with my body rubber on, it's pathetic. No, women turn me on. I would say I was attracted to Hillary, but I'm not. There are some poses of her that are rather flattering. I'm not a false prophet. No, I'm not a prophet at all. I'm not seeking profit. I haven't looked for a dime from you at all in 7 years. Are you a homosexual? Would you like to share? Would you like to talk about your first homosexual experience? I think the room is free to talk about whatever we want. It's Freedom Friday, man. You can be anything you want at Alice's restaurant or something like that. Young Republicans salute labor. Yeah, I can't believe I have this. Whew. Yes, atheism is a religion. Admit it. Time has come. Time to admit your religion, you atheists. I haven't put out the marijuana insignia at all tonight, in deference to a lot of you folks who still just believe that America should never be having marijuana. I really believe that legalization will help our country, but I'm not pushing it tonight. I'm a little bit more patriotic than that. Well, I think potheads are perfectly fine in my eyes. I don't see any problem with them. They don't pose a danger. They don't steal from people to buy marijuana supplies because marijuana's a lot cheaper than cigarettes. And they don't become habitual users and overdosers and constantly, going after more meth or crack or opium or heroin like the many heroin addicts do. So I don't believe that you have the right attitude, Cat's Tail. Therefore, you're gone. I disagree. I know a lot of people that smoke marijuana in our area that are very successful medical marijuana dispensaries and recreational medical dispensaries. Legalize illegitimate candidacy. Wow. What does that mean? Is that a tongue twister? You atheists won't like this new finding in a well-respected scientific journal, Mad Dog, which says the human hand was designed by a creator. Ooh. A scientific paper which says that the human hand was designed by a creator sparks controversy. Not just Da Vinci. That's right. A recent scientific paper on the movement of the human hand has faced strong criticism for referring to a creator throughout. The paper, titled Biomechanical Characteristics of Hand Coordination and Grasping Activities of Daily Living, was written by a team of 4 researchers, 3 from Hushang University in China, and 1 from the Worcester Polytechnic Institute of Massachusetts. Okay. It later says human hand coordination should indicate the mystery of the creator's invention, and concludes by again claiming the mechanical architecture of the hand is the result of the proper design by the creator. There you go, all you atheists. Read them and weep. Thank you, Mad Dog. A Worcestershire sauce, please. No, I will not repeal gay marriage. We will just tell states you don't have to offer marriage license. It's a lot easier, guest 8614. Yeah, the letter of the law as written is very clear, and as interpreted by the Supreme Court, that if they give out a marriage contract, they can't discriminate. Alrighty? No, I'm not high. Should I be high? Should I get high? You know, I can't get high on the network here. Not only does Mark supports Trump, but not only does he not understand the importance of people that get high on their show, he doesn't realize that most of his casters are high during their performance, except, of course, for me. I don't imbibe during the show. Are you high on LSD? You see that green object floating above you? That's a spaceship, dude. Don't tell anybody. Okay, so what's happening? The coffee is kicking in. I'm trying to bum your high out, huh? Hey, I'm just interacting with you, something all the other candidates don't do. It's the least I can do, considering I am and will continue running for president. Ms. Hatsuni, welcome to the show. Where have you been all our a whole show? We haven't seen enough banana. Well, the fist can do whatever you want. Are you fantasizing about the fist right now? You're trying to imagine what the fist would be like in your future love relationship? I'm not here to give you that. I'm here to talk about saving the planet and bringing back nature. I'm here to preserve this nation. I'm not here to talk about some fist. Now, I've saved this till the end of our show. I wanted to talk about how we're going to stop the endless pool of radiation coming into our planet from Fukushima. This is an overhead view of the Fukushima reactor complex in Japan. What I propose to do is build a mound system on top of this. Reactor number 4, which has 1,200 spent fuel rods draining into the groundwater right now, poses the biggest risk. The Wigner effect is going on right now. The Wigner effect, and I'll spell that for you, is a non-stop breakdown of subatomic material that is irradiated. And it creates a veritable dust of radiation, which is circulating the planet right now, and you're probably breathing portions of it, whether you like it or not. Isn't that nice? And what we want to do is, it's not nice, I was kidding, but what we want to do is make sure that we deal with the dangerous water draining from Mount Fukushima. Yeah. It's a mountain that's right behind this area, back there, behind it, and it is essentially releasing a tremendous amount of water draining down. And what I propose to do is using robotic tractors that maybe Hitachi could build, for instance, working with the Japanese government and whatever's left of TEPCO, because they're failing miserably. They've fired 3 people this past week. Build a trench all the way around this section. And use all the ground that we pull out from the ground. You see the water that's going to come in around that trench? It'll actually circulate around. But this way no water will be breaching this area and going down into the bay itself. So that'll be eliminated. But the mound system itself will be created out of the dirt that we pull out of that trench. It's a very simple plan. It's not too complicated. And we'll build this large mountain of dirt along with any kind of binding material that would be a good carapace to cover the reactor vessel itself. And then a water wall leading all the way out to what I hope to see is the USS Forrestal, parked right there and buried in the water. You know, we can sink a portion of that aircraft carrier, and it's still in wet dock, by the way. I checked it out. It's in Galveston. They haven't broken down the hull yet. It's still fully functional, and we can actually tow it there. The remains of that USS Forrestal. Our government paid a wrecking crew $2 billion. $2 billion to break the unit down. That's how stupid it is. This is common sense, a lot of this is. I can't break down your hull now. You grew up hating Japanese for no reason thanks to your dad? That's terrible. Yeah. I do care about noodle lovers. Yes. Many of you are trying to find love for your noodle. It's not working out too well, is it? Yeah, well, the dirt will be not dumped into a radioactive hull. Let's go back to the original portion of the design. My father, as you know, was a war hero and a sharpshooter and ended up killing. He killed over 100 men in the Philippines. And later on, he ended up teaching their children, families of the Japanese that had come over here and become American citizens. He ended up having, as a teacher, as a high school teacher, he taught these children of family members. So he had kind of a full circle in his life. He said to me toward the end of his life, that he felt like he'd lived 2 different lives. One where he was killing Japanese, and the other where he was actually helping to heal the wounds of war. Amazing, isn't it? Irony can be very ironic. Yep. Yes, it is safe-proof, and I'll tell you exactly why. As you know, I'm going to prevent the water from coming into the bay. I'm going to block the bay itself. And most of all, we're going to provide an access point. I wanted to make this clear. So that the corium can be digested. We're going to have like a tunnel underneath here when we build this mound. We'll keep a tunnel right here. It'll go up all the way into the center of the mound, into the reactor itself. So we'll have access to it. We'll be able to haul corium out using robotic equipment. The corium itself is designed, it's comprised of plutonium, cesium, and uranium, along with dirt and slurry, a wet slurry. Yeah, so no, I've never seen a single person who's died from a weed experience. There's never been a case. In fact, they did a recent study showing that people that smoke marijuana have less lung cancer. Do I need to show you all the links to this information, or do you want to take my word for it? I am a virtual candidate. It's true. Thanks, Ray of Sunshine. At least you recognize that. But you're probably still going to vote for Trump, huh? All right, well, I'm winning you over one vote at a time, apparently. So anyway, the reactor itself can actually be built right next to the facility. Fast breeder reactor that gets rid of 97% of the spent fuel rod material. But we have to design this specifically to burn corium. It's going to be very difficult. But would you rather we just didn't do anything and, played video games all night and you guys can continue drinking your beer? Or would you rather solve problems and fix the countries and the world? Well, I've already had more than one vote, Guest 220. I've got hundreds, if not thousands, of people in your state ready to vote for me because they recognize my intelligence. You, however, can't comprehend a thing what I'm doing right now. You're going to go to Madden Live, the gameplay. Wow. Well, you're going to vote for Hitler. She's a New World Order shill. She's basically the arm of the Council on Foreign Relations. She supports them wholeheartedly. All we need, oh yeah, we can just quote from John Lennon. There's no problems, only solutions. Just give peace a chance. Just give peace a chance. Just give peace a chance. Last words of a man who never should have gone to New York and gotten back into America. Yoko was the one that put him to that, by the way. Does anybody know what happened to Yoko? Because I haven't heard about her. Did she have a stroke or not? Yoko Ono. Stroke potential. Let's see. It's in the news a couple days ago. Yoko died? You got to be kidding me. No, she was rushed to the hospital for a possible stroke. And this is 7 days ago. We haven't heard one single thing since then. Let's go to our affiliate in New York, Brian Williams. Go ahead, Brian. Well, Dave, we're here with Yoko Ono at her deathbed, and I have behind me her son Sean. They're coming after us with helicopters. Okay. Yoko Ono released from hospital after suffering flu symptoms, folks. It wasn't a stroke. Arigato. Many of you Japanese lovers of Yoko Ono music. I know, I didn't plan on doing Brian Williams. Thank you. I lost you. I lost you a long time ago. You don't have much staying power. 555. You don't even have a sense of humor. That's what's really sad about you. Does your wife ever say, "Lighten up, honey"? Any of you are homosexuals? I can see that. That's okay. You know, I saw her movie, the 3.5-hour movie, The Fly. I thought it was an amazing artistic piece. Yeah, guess your age. Well, you were born in 1980 then. Good for you. Okay, I'm going to go out on a limb and say you're 35. Is that right? Just give peace a chance. You lost your wife. You were born in 1994. What the hell happened to you, man? Wow. Are you 21 and you just got divorced, or did she die? Yes, 559. Oh, no. 555 is a different number. I'm sorry. You know you are being watched. They are. Have you ever heard of the word artificial intelligence? Well, it is happening. We are experiencing an artificial intelligence force that is being essentially an interrupter in the decision-making process of our government. I'd like to say that the American people all have an equal say in government, but we don't have the same say in government that the artificial intelligence source that I'm referring to does. It's a computer system that the powerful elitists have put all their faith in. And they've decided that, well, I'm sorry, it's two words, thank you. The fact is, they've decided that the fate of humanity rests on depopulation. And that's a sad reality that artificial intelligence has spit that result out, because they weren't given all the proper information and variables when making a decision. When this device was asked, what happens if mankind continues to replicate and fart, or flatulate, or produce carbon emissions? It came back with this ultra-liberal answer, "Oh, the sky is falling, oh no!" When in reality, we are the actual orchestrators of our own destiny. We are the ones that will actually decide whether we, as a nation, will depopulate or in any way populate. So the American people really have in their ability right now a chance to stop whatever plan is in place by artificial intelligence to kill off 95% of the population. We are at that point, that brink point. And I got to tell you, it's our choice right now, being we're the last vestige of freedom in the world, if we want to preserve our environment and bring it back to beauty, like we have here. You see that picture the other day with Ted Cruz eating his own, well, whatever. No, I'm not. In fact, I'm trying to make people realize that they are perhaps the most important voters in our nation's history right now. You guys have the most power to save the world than any other voter in the history of America. But you have to break out of the two-party system. If you vote for Trump, you're voting for the establishment of big moneyed interests, the one percenters. If you vote for Hillary, you're voting for the establishment of moneyed interests, the number one, the one percenters. So basically, a vote for either candidate in the two-party system is a vote for the same old with no real solutions, like I've told you tonight. With our homestead renewal plan, our mobile medical units, that's just a small sampling of all the great solutions we have in our book, Hybrid Capitalism, which you can, by the way, buy for 99 cents now on a download. So if you really want to get behind a plan to stop depopulation, because I truly do, I believe the human species needs to populate, but we need to do it effectively. We need to control our border. We don't need to have overpopulation coming up through our country and invading our country. And I'm talking about solving America's problems, not the world's problems, mind you. You have a chance right now to step out of the box and make your vote mean something in this upcoming election. Now, not only can you actually get behind the vote with a write-in of David Sponheim on the ballot coming up in the general election, which I am a bona fide write-in candidate. I was one of the first to sign up with the FEC. But you could also try to get me on the ballot right now. There's still time in various states. Calling your Secretary of State, asking to get a petition to get a president on the ballot. But this is the way I recommend you just print this out. Go to our website, AmericasThirdParty.com, and right-click that image, store it on your hard drive, and send it to your local Office Max. And for only $1, you can print this up. That cost me $1, and I put some cardboard behind it, put some tape around it, and you've got yourself a sign. It's that simple. But we also have a store where you can actually click the store here and go to our store and buy our book. If you want to read our book, it's only 99 cents on a Kindle download. You can also buy bumper stickers or yard signs here, and even t-shirts. So we are ready to go. The voter revolt is underway, and this country is really primed for a third party. We've never been closer to a third party than we are now. Yes, you can write me in anywhere you want, as long as you're a U.S. citizen. The donation link is right here. No, this is not tax deductible. No, sorry. Nothing in political donations is tax deductible. That's true of any donation to the Democrats or Republicans. Here's a link to our donation button. If you want to make a donation directly, you can. I think that'll work. Yeah, it works fine. Thank you. Yeah, I definitely respect freedom of religion too. That's why I'm not a Trump fan, because he wants to ID Muslims. And it freaks me out that Hillary wants to erase emails like she did. That was enough to drive me away from her. The fact that she's lied throughout the years, the Clinton death count, all these people that have known Clintons and never really, we can never really explain why they died. There's over 47 people on that list. That's another reason that kind of made me distrust Hillary. The fact that she hasn't really done anything, yet she was been in very important positions as a senator and a secretary of state, and never really accomplished anything, that's disturbing too. We can't afford to have another 4 years of a do-nothing president, and we can't afford to have somebody who's going to be polarizing like Donald. David, you're a class act, the kind of act I'd like to see go on. Thank you. Well, that's what we're here for. We're trying to win you over one vote at a time. Ray of Sunshine, Ross Perot, a third-party guy. He ran the Reform Party. He did real well. He got 19% of the vote in 1992. Pretty impressive history lesson. The fact that three parties have not been allowed into a country that claims to be democratic, it's a red flag. It's a beacon of flashing lights saying, hey, there's something wrong here. There's something wrong here. Beep, 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 beep. We are not a democracy when we only have two parties. There's nothing in our Constitution that says we only have Republicans versus Democrats. That was the last third-party presidential candidate, Ray. Ray, you're starting to lose support here. I mean, our supporters are kind of not liking you. I don't want to use groupthink or anything to control your presence here, but you're clearly an idiot. Thank you, Natural Thomas. It's very kind of you to not comment on how cute we all are. Well, this is great. Friday night, hanging out. Ray, there's a lot of backlash to the chat room against you right now. I'm fighting for you, man. Some of you are having an orgasm watching my lips. That's nice. At least somebody's enjoying this night. At least I'm not having that much fun, but you are. Yeah, I had a 90-year-old guy tell me, it was weird, it was strange. He was looking at my lips. And he was like, he was a survivor of Auschwitz, in fact. I met him in Venice, California. And he was 90 years old, and I was kind of being nice to him. I helped carry some stuff back to his apartment one day. And he stared right at me, and he was like, I have seen your lips before. It's just this weirdest thing. It's like looking at my lips. I have seen your lips before. Well, I wasn't at Dachau or Treblinka, so you got me mixed up with a different guy. No, I didn't molest him. He was a nice old guy. I used to meet a lot of people back in the day when I was in the streets of Venice, California, and Santa Monica, California. That's when I met Wolfgang Puck. What a weird, strange man he is. Yeah. I wasn't really impressed. Okay, so that's Yoko Ono. She's been released from the hospital after suffering flu symptoms. Good. I'm so glad she's doing well. All right, let's see. Madden Live. This isn't really a news event, but this is what Mad Dog watches when he's having fun. Somebody said I should revive our gaming show. I can't believe somebody would make a copy of that. Okay, that one goes. Let's see what happened here. Oh yes, the controversy over a scientific paper Mad Dog presented. Human Hand was designed by the creator himself. You missed the gaming show? Okay, well maybe I'll bring it back. I've got a gaming computer over here. I'm going to download some games for the network, the Steam network I joined. Stupid son of a birch. Obama is not really a religious man. You know, when he abdicated his faith in the Church of Christ Unity Church, United Trinity Church of Chicago, yeah, he didn't want to be a part of that anymore. And I guess he didn't want to be associated with the Down Low Club. This is a little freaky, the fact that scientists are working on some weird cobalt derivative that you can breathe underwater with. I don't know. Yeah, I just find it very weird. Okay, and then, oh, yeah, this is all about lying. Well, that doesn't apply to me. Okay, and then this one is about Jockey dies halfway through the race and still wins. I didn't know this came into the room. I have eaten shark meat before. Sharks urinate in their actual flesh. So when you get shark meat, you're actually drinking shark urine. I recommend washing the shark meat out thoroughly prior to eating it. You didn't know that, did you? No, I don't lie at all. I've never said a lie in my entire life. I don't know where you're coming from, buddy. You apparently never met a guy like me. I never said you were gay. Wizard of Doe farce. That's true. You do love beautiful women. Would you like me to profile any of you in chat? Tell you about your personal life? I can do that. I'm a professional chat profiler. Anyone would like to find out what's going on in their personal life? I can describe your bedroom by your chat. Well, I trim my nose hair, so I'm not really psychic. No, I'm a chat profiler. I read your chat words to determine your mental demeanor, much like handwriting analysis. Okay, abnormal. You have something yellow hanging in your bedroom. It may be a banner, something with a large yellow line. Am I right? Would be basement. Okay. No, I can't describe Hillary. She's not in the chat. I read your chat. I profile you based on your chat. Whoa, Dave the Mentalist. Whoa, dude, doodly. Oh, totally. Yes, the yellow bandana says you're into water sports. I know I'm not getting that. Hey, let's talk about torture and the fact that Barack Obama is engaged in just as much torture and rendition as George W. Bush. People die fighting for democracy. Laura and I never did that. We are now approaching the 8-minute mark. Okay, I'm done with this jockey dying halfway through his race. He's still dead. Yeah. Interesting. Not. Ben Carson ends his campaign, folks. He's decided to become a retired ex-politician. Maybe he'll get back to his practice of separating Siamese twins. That's got to be a very lucrative business for him. It's too bad he didn't really put up a fight. No, World War III is not here. It's not there yet. It won't be arriving till I can't tell you. And Newt Gingrich claimed that Trump is not in a secret society. Right. That's what people do when they're in secret societies. They put out press releases saying they're not in secret societies. Okay. And this link is Mitt Romney is being sued in federal court for criminal racketeering. Yeah. Mad Dog did a fact check on that and found out it's just a side thing. Frankly, I'm not a big fan of Mitt Romney. He's kind of like Donald Trump. He's into buying and selling and bankrupting companies with Bain Capital and just like Trump International. Buying up companies and basically grabbing all kinds of loans and then bankrupting the company. That's what they do. You don't like Romney anymore? Okay, good. Well, then maybe the story's true. All right. Oh, and then this is the little alien guy brought in from CSETI, Stephen Greer. And, of course, the alien story, Our Real and Friendly claims next, Area 51, where he holds a picture of his last big romance in life. There he is. She met me in a coffee shop, and she really turned me on. I'll never forget I took a snapshot of the little devil. Seriously? I'm going to believe that's an alien? Right, sure. Next. Okay, oh, and a CIA agent would never lie. No, they wouldn't have an alien agenda. Ah, good sir. I don't believe I have crapped in my pantaloons. Now, I had never saw that before. Oh, that's a little too weird. And ethnically a little bit, you know. Oh no, a great picture of Hillary. It's the Batman version. That's pretty cool. Yeah, at least I have something fun to look at later in my Hitlery collection. Thank you. I'm going into my President's Library, and we'll call it Hillary Batman. Oh, no, Hillary Joker. Even better. Wow, awesome work. Do you do the voodoo that we do when you do the voodoo? Did anyone really think Ben would be the GOP nominee? Yeah, there's a lot of people that thought there'd be like a token black man running for president again. Like we would fall for that. That's how completely out of it the Republican Party is. It just shows to go yet. Okay, the Philippines impound a North Korean ship under UN sanctions. This could be a trigger point for Kim Jong-un launching a nuclear attack. Anything as serious as an actual impounded North Korean ship could trigger his anger. And the missiles could be launched at any moment. So relax. We've got ample capability of knocking them out of the sky using laser directional satellite technology. Much like Star Wars, the very thing that Ronald Reagan projected. Well, back in the day, we had a plan called Star Wars, where we implemented a radiated nuclear reactor in the satellite form, which has a proton beam that can knock any of these things out of the sky. Nancy, could I have some more jelly beans, please? Okay. I don't know. His sister may be in charge. I don't know. I don't think North Korea is a problem. All right? Let's move on. I think we're done with Yoko, too. We're knocking them down one by one. Okay, an insect man uses implanted antenna to hear colors. That's very derogatory. I'm learning a lot right now, in case you didn't know. I never would have even known about an insect man using implanted antennas. This is news to me. I thought My Favorite Martian was the last we've ever seen of this. Neil Harbison was born colorblind with a condition known as achromatopsia. He sees the world in grayscale, a drab range of blacks and whites, and never to know the deep indigo of a Pacific wave, or the magnificent red of a hummingbird's throat, or the iridescent carapace of a jewel beetle, or the crystalline orange of... Come on, get off it with your... Anyway. Unsatisfied with his natural-born abilities, Harbison hacked his own body. He had an antenna implanted in the bone of his skull designed to convert color into sound. It took him 3 years, but he was able to memorize the microtones created by all 360 degrees of the color wheel. Once he mastered that, he added infrared and ultraviolet wavelengths to his repertoire. His reptilian antenna-war. My God, what? I mean, I can see how he would be a little bit wigged out. But that's a little bit weird, if you ask me. You can imagine how I would look with an antenna off my head. It's so strange. Hey, cut it out on the brink of World War III. I'm gonna ban you from the show. Yeah. Next time you attack one of our supporters with such foul language, you will be banned, sir. Well, let's be clear. And what's the significance of this picture, Meow TV? Is this your backyard or something? The Champs-Élysées. The Arc de Triomphe. Okay, let's see what we have here. Awesome tie, thank you. It resembles something. I'm not sure what this is, though. Because so far I haven't seen any courageous Americans in my room yet. Except for my supporters. And you all know who you are, so... Present company excluded. Yeah, so I'm a little bit freaked out by the insect guy head. So somebody asked me if I look like My Favorite Martian. And it turns out I do look a lot like the guy from My Favorite Martian. Ray something. So let's do a facial comparison just for fun to see how it looks. Pretty close, yeah. That's illogical. Bill Bixby, where are you? Bill? My hovercraft is waiting. All right. How very drab and gray of me. Okay, that sums up the entire extended show so far. I was free to do whatever I wanted to do, and I want to thank you for that. Now Newt Gingrich admits there is a secret society? Okay. Well, again, like I said, I seriously doubt if Newt Gingrich could be taken seriously.
It's final exams week, and that means two things.
Stop!
From the former Speaker of the House. By the way, he's not joking. This isn't tongue-in-cheek. Just watch. He's 100% serious. Apparently, Newt Gingrich has had a come-to-God moment and has decided to finally tell the truth about how...
Yeah, see, I believe this is no different than COINTELPRO disinformation. You know, if there's a person out there who's got establishment ties to cover his butt in 4 corporate bankruptcies, he is connected. When Chris Christie, known for his New Jersey, his friends in New Jersey kind of people, gives him an endorsement, Donald Trump an endorsement, he's connected. So when we listen to some tripe coming off of the Fox News network, which is a completely puppet-driven, Illuminati-driven network, and we're going to listen to some guy claim that Trump isn't part of that little, gay thing that's happening, I personally think this is BS, but I'm going to play it for you anyway. Thank you for the link, Scissor Fight. This is the end of our road tonight. I'm going to go take a night off, and tomorrow is our anti-war rally starting at 6 o'clock. So, yeah, there may be repercussions for anything anyone says. Yeah, sure. Or were you threatening me or something? Okay, I saw the movie The Martian on a plane a few weeks ago, going to back. He was cute. Matt looked a bit like you too, our favorite Martian. Oh, okay. I did not know that movie existed. The Martian. Wow. Thanks, Natural Thomas. I didn't know that. Yeah, a fun show. We talked about fun stuff. We are going to listen to this, and I'm going to, let Newt Gingrich kind of wrap himself up in his own layer of rope. I'm not sure why a guy so connected to the Illuminati would run his mouth off about not having any affiliation with Trump. Unless it's to make you think that Trump is some anti-establishment character, which is hilarious. Okay. Try to enjoy yourselves this weekend. Enjoy every little bit of your life. Because obviously, times are not getting any easier, folks. Really. Take yourself out to dinner. Treat yourself. I'm going to suggest to Sarah that we treat ourselves. Yeah. Do something fun for yourself. It's worth it. Whoa. I did not hear about that. Topper Dan is in the room. We haven't seen you for a while. Topper Dan. Wow, we just mentioned you the other night. And here you are. Don't leave, Dave. So this guy, Sterling Allen, the CEO of Pure Energy System, is waiting to be arrested for sexual abuse? Wow. Are you laughing? What are you laughing at? Thanks, Topper Dan. I didn't know this guy was being charged with sexual abuse for having sex with the abuse of the child? He posted a new page. Yeah. He says, I'm fully confident that all these things are for a purpose and that I will be coming out the other side in good shape to step back into a significant role in bringing these things, exotic free energy technologies, forward to the planet and becoming the richest man in the world. Well, that's his goal, is to become the richest man in the world. But it sounds a little weird to me. Here's his free energy site. Huh. Looking for someone to loan Pez money to cover year-end tax sum. Facing possible arrest. I'll be discussing this in my pending show. Wow. Hard to read. Yeah, I got to zoom in for you. Hang on. It does look strange, I must say, Topper Dan. That's very weird. Facing possible arrest. Yeah. There was another activist down in Fresno 2 weeks ago that died. It was like 2 or 3 weeks ago he died. He thinks he's God on earth. Well, apparently somebody got his number, I'll tell you that. But that guy down in Fresno was being pursued on child sex abuse charges. And then he ended up getting killed. It's a weird story that came into our show about 3 weeks ago. He posted his assailant online. He put a picture of what he thought was the guy was going to kill him. And the guy's face is out online. Yet nobody really did anything. Yeah, I'm getting very tired. I needed more sleep last night. I'm going to get some sleep tonight. Sarah's probably already to bed. This is Mount Sponheim in Fukushima land. No need for a rectal exam. Everything's working out just fine. Why do you deal with your own crap? Thank you. Tell that to your proctologist next time you visit him. Doctor, why do you deal with your own crap? Let me freshen up. All right, this has been a very weird ending for our Friday show. I feel a little bit guilty that I'm leaving so early. But it's been a fun night. I don't know how I could cap it off with any more fun, you know? I don't have any interest in men, dude. Yeah, many of you are gay, I take it, and you look at other men as victims of your gayness. Well, we've got this great video of Newt Gingrich claiming that Donald's not a part of the Illuminati. I find that hilarious because he probably is. Although I can't verify that. Okay, here we go. I'll watch it with you. All right, for all of our other viewers worldwide, and thank you for coming into the show, we're going to bid you goodbye till tomorrow on our recorded video. We start our anti-war rally at 6 o'clock on Saturdays. See you then.